Ladies and gents, welcome back to the Open Series, week number 5 of third split. My name is Stun, joined by Toby once again to head into the latter stages of this week's tournament. Of course, Toby, we're 5 weeks deep, and things once again changed it up a little bit. And yeah, we're going to have a chat through some things, and then we're going to be jumping into some of the games. This week, of course, the semi-finals and grand finals, both best out of 5s outside of just obviously previously being best out of 5s at the grand final. So a little bit more to sink our teeth into, if you like, Toby. But yourself, how's things going this weekend, Toby?
Things are great this weekend, mate. As you know, I've been out in the sun today and enjoying the rare sunshine. Of course, we're almost into June, and I hope we have a hotter summer this year, shall I say, in Wales. I've been missing the sun, and yeah, right now it's time for some gears, though. Of course, 2 semi-finals, 2 best-of-5 series. This is going to be fun. Can't wait to get into it.
Yeah, very, very keen to jump in. But if any of you guys are obviously tuning in, skins are coming throughout the show. I know plenty of you are here for that, so please do stick around. But yeah, of course, as mentioned, some changes did come through this week. In the best out of 3s, we removed control. And I think, you know, we'll chat through in a second. We removed it from the best out of 3s, but then kept it in the best out of 5s for the top teams to keep, you know, kind of practicing on it and keep sort of furthering the mode. We'll jump into the conversation in a second, but let's have a look at the brackets to see how things have broken down so far. Of course, some of the games going on across off broadcast. So far, though, we have Jonny Walker and Coke against Phantom T. Jonny Walker and Coke is Tam Tam, and so it's Hydro and the boys, essentially. Going up against Phantom T, and that game is going on now. We are currently waiting on who X's are, which is massive Crim. Wait, how KRIMCEZ? Is that how we're saying it?
I think we call them X's.
Yeah, we'll just call them X's.
Yeah.
They're going into the semi-finals against Tweak when that does come around. Tweak beating Breaker and the boys actually to get into that semi-final. So best out of 5s only from now on broadcast. Although we may well jump into yeah, cheers, man. There we go. He's changing it around. X's Esports against Pizza for Fun is still ongoing. That's in map number 2. We may well jump into that. Actually, no, we're just going to jump straight in, but there you go. Escalation is currently ongoing as far as I'm aware, so we're going to jump in, and you get a bonus quarterfinal. Look at that. We're just delivering everything that we possibly can. This one, though, Toby, we'll have a bit of a chill one on this one because we are very much expecting Axis to walk away with this one. It was a convincing win for them in map number 1, which was an execution. We're into an escalation here, which is kind of their bread and butter, isn't it? We'd expect them to do well here.
Absolutely. They seem to be performing as well as ever. Access. I was just watching Bounces. He was playing Clock Tower, and I think it was a 6-0, I want to say, 6-1 at the very least when I last checked. So yeah, Access are playing well. Of course, it's the original 4. We got Pains, Crimson's Craze, and Bounces. And yeah, they are very much the extreme strong favorites actually in this one versus Pizza for Fun. And as you can see, they're just strolling on through the points victory for this first round.
Yeah, nicely done. X's Esports will get it done. Of course, as mentioned, we did change things up when it comes to the best out of 3s, removing control from that. We've been having a back and forth sort of behind closed doors about this one. And we were curious whether it was that, and well, it seems as if that is not the case. So we'll probably keep it as the same because we don't want to flip-flop in between, but obviously control not too much of a deterrent, clearly, as much as it maybe has been signaled out, Toby. I'll let you delve in.
I mean, I guess the first thing to talk about is the order for the best of 3s, right? A lot of players wanted to see escalation twice in a best of 3 series, but I think
yes,
kind of like the deciding factor in the end, which I think, you know, the overwhelming majority will agree with, that you'd rather have enough time, given XE is a lot faster than escalation, you'd rather have more time to make semis best of 5 in the day, with that execution coming up twice in best of 3 series and matches being quicker as a result, you know? I think that was the general consensus with some of the top players. They'd rather just play 2 XEs in best of 3 if it's quicker, you know? And given that a lot of the rounds do come through as a 2-0 and then in the earlier rounds of each Sunday, I think you still have the 1 XE and the 1 escalation as well, as you would. So it doesn't change much inherently either.
Yeah, and the thing is with that one as well, something else that we sort of discussed, because I know that the community replied to Gears of You, and as mentioned, there's that side of things that we didn't want to delve too far into running in a massive best out of threes with plenty of escalations. As mentioned, it does kind of just play out the same way with most of them being 2-0, but at the same time, you know, you look at, and of course we're not quite following that rule set yet, but you look at how things are doing in the official program, and it seems as if escalation, obviously in there is their third game type with 2 controls and 2 executions across the best out of 5. Whereas, you know, over here it does seem as if escalation's heavily preferred. We were aware of that, and that's fine. But I think we just didn't want to lean too far in escalation if somewhere down the line it became the least played game mode when we're playing it the most. We kind of thought to ourselves that doesn't really make too much sense. So you know, it's still a learning process, and we'll still continue on how we are going. I don't think we're going to see too many changes ahead of the final few weeks. I know you want the 10 seconds of control, Toby, so maybe we can get the guys to try that out in some of the semi-finals the next couple of weeks to see what it's like on a competitive basis. But a lot of people are suggesting that seems to be a route to go for improving control. But yeah, I think, you know, we should still have some news coming up, and some news on the finals very, very shortly. And hopefully that will pique the interest a little bit more. But it is a very nice Sunday. It's a very nice outside, so maybe I can't blame you guys too much for not getting involved this week. It's bloody glorious. I'm absolutely boiling here, Toby. I'll not lie.
Yeah, I mean, it's probably the first sunny day in quite a while, actually, in Wales, at least this hot. It is truly the start of summer, I think. A lot of players are actually finishing their exams, of course. I know I was a little bit earlier than the majority, perhaps, in uni, but I'm sure Marsh will be has probably just about finished with his exams or finishing very soon, you know, and then as people really get stuck into the summer and have a lot more free time, then maybe we'll see a lot of new teams, you know, reform and whatnot. Of course, we still have Jonny Walker, aka Tam Tam, with that original 4, the Hydron replacing Marsh in the original highly rated squad. So, you know, I'm curious to see where Marsh ends up in the coming weeks now, as well as the other students that we have in the EU community.
It's going to be interesting to see if there is an influx. You know, we are very much hoping for it, and again, you know, we're very open to feedback consistently. Obviously, we're not going to switch back to fully escalation, which is what I'm sure a lot of people would love to see. But at the same time, you know, we're just going to keep on keeping on, if you like. Harlequin's right. Wales doesn't have sun. I already tried to make that comment. Every time I've been to bloody Wales, it has been. I was about to swear. It's been raining a lot. My goodness me.
It's a rainy place, mate. You know,
it is. Well, you know, being from the northeast of England, then I'm kind of used to it to a certain degree. But it is on another level sometimes. I've been a couple of times on the old mountain bike, you know. And where did I go? Merthyr Tydfil. That was it.
Ah, yes. Probably even more rain than in Swansea, I imagine.
Very wet. Very wet place. Yeah. Nonetheless, KRIMCEZ Esports looking very, very good in this game and looking to get into that semi-final. 3-0 currently. Looking solid across the board. Pizza for fun. Well, not necessarily having the most fun here at U. All of them dropping. KRIMCEZ really has been on a bit of a mad one all the way through this. Looks like that is going to be round number 4 locked in. As I said, we were just going with a chill one. We'll just introduce the stream, but you know, as I said, we're quite happy to always have that conversation at the beginning of the stream to go through some stuff with you guys and have that discussion. You know, and we do note a lot of the comments that go on over social media through the weeks, and we all are always sort of in the position of wanting to improve things. That's kind of where we are, and we always have done. So please, if you have something that will potentially, you know, bring you back that's in our control, then that's something we want to work on. So just please do let us know. Not that I'm grasping, but at the same time, you know, we want the scene to continue to step forward. We feel as if we took a huge step forward in the previous split, and we maybe taken a small step backwards at this moment in time, and that's not where we want to be. So we want to keep things moving, and well, keeping things moving is KRIMCEZ Esports. That's a drop shot at there. Oh, look, actually. Oh, actually, no, it's below. Come on.
Yep.
Wake up.
Just underneath. I don't think it would make too much of a difference, to be honest, whether it's up top or low. And that would be a really interesting weapon placement location, I will say that. Sometimes a little reposition can help out a lot.
Did we not have this, I want to say maybe in one of the Pro League seasons where a team started doing this and it was a legitimate tactic that they had. I can't remember who it was specifically.
I think a few teams have incorporated it now and then. I wish I would see it more often, to be honest. Like, you know, as casters, we always talk about the weapon placements and trying to be unpredictable and trying to out-strategize, but it's just a tool that's been underutilized by a lot of teams, I think. They just think, you know, we're like 3 rounds down. Instead of trying to do something different, they're going to just run it back again on initial and hope that they somehow vastly improve and then all of a sudden win 4 rounds in a row. You know, like the odds are just stacked against you. That you can, you know, somehow come back and do that. And I think just placements like that, you know, underneath, just inside the nades area, the middle, you know, the frag location, of course, on Asylum, just over the jump over in the center, that can be a nice placement for a weapon oftentimes and really shake things up. Yeah. And so I guess, you know, a lot of teams perhaps haven't experimented a huge amount on Sundays. It really is a rare sight.
Crimsons.
Oh my goodness me. Oh my goodness me.
Oh dearie. Well, that's going to be the end of that game. Crimsons. Oh, surely not.
Oh no.
I thought it was over. Oh.
Just going to pistol his shins and hopefully he goes down. Not going to happen though.
Yeah, looking at this time around the scoreline, though, very much in the favour of KRIMCEZ Esports, as mentioned. Cog team win condition of 45 seconds. We'll get this one done, get the semi-finals lined up, and we'll get back in with that kicking off. Payne's going to fall, though. Drop shot should be coming up very, very shortly. Had much practice against voluble Note 037, Toby?
Well, okay, it's very weird you've actually said that because I'm trying to work out if I've actually played him recently in rank. So I'm looking at that name and I'm thinking I've played that against that player some point recently. Yeah, that's very weird you said that, mate. I'll be honest.
We're just on
some like deja vu stuff going on. What are the chances you just randomly say that? You know,
mate. It's been that many times we casted together. Maybe the synergy is.
Finally some chemistry building between us, mate.
Whoa. I thought the chemistry has been there for a while now. Come on, I mean, I was going to say just a further level of synergy, but if the chemistry hasn't been there for you, mate,
Listen, there are levels, and we need to be on an entirely different level at some point. We need to transcend into the stars, and then suddenly I'll be casting FIFA, you'll be casting Halo, I'll be casting... No, I'm joking. We're going to be casting Gears forever, my friend.
Hopefully. Well, here we go. KRIMCEZ Esports are going to lock this one in. Cog team win condition is still there. Is it going to change? I don't think so. Well, no, it's not going to make a difference. Well, there you go. KRIMCEZ Esports will advance on through to the semi-finals. A little bit of a later start in that quarter-final, meaning that we are just running ever so slightly behind. The grand final will be straight into, though, because I do believe it's actually Phantom T going up against Hydra and the boys, as mentioned, right now. So that game's ongoing. We will be jumping into the next semi-final, though, which is going to be KRIMCEZ taking on the team that just beat Breaker and Co. Who I actually need to double check. Tweak,
yeah.
Tweak. All right, so 1A.
Very,
well, there you go.
Very interesting roster, I will say. Saitama has actually joined up with Zenji and Para.
Okay.
But it's not the full 1A squad. You know, Jimmy B and Brazil couldn't make it today, so the fourth is actually Banged, who of course was previously playing with Breaker, the team they've just beaten. So that was a really, really good game. Caught a little bit of it. Actually, Lil Bounces was streaming it. He was spectating that game before his first match that we just saw. So yeah, that was an interesting 2-0. And I'm wondering if Tweak and of course Zenji get into the semi-final again with a different pickup. Whether this all-star pickup can cause some more upsets today.
Yeah, it'll be interesting. We are actually going to go for a quick break before we do jump into these semi-finals, though, because, well, let's just get the lobby set up and get in a better position to go on. I'm sure you don't want to hear me and Toby waffle on because there's plenty of that to potentially come. But yes, of course, we are going to go for a very quick break. Semi-finals kicking off in just a second. Of course, 2 best of 5s to get your teeth into. We're going to be here all evening long. We'll be back very shortly. See you soon. Ladies and gents, welcome back to the EGL Open Series, week number 5. Open Series, split number 3. We've got through quite a few already, and quite a way through this one as well. Toby Campbell joining myself, Chris Tunn, for this one this evening. 2 games to come up, the semi-finals, and of course the grand finals straight after that. Toby, we've got some interesting competition this week, though. We've got Tam Tam through this week, not using any players they shouldn't be, and different teams, etc., etc. So that's always a good start. We've got some good teams here, though, and we're looking forward to what should be a really good semi-final here against who I'm being told is XXs now. Apparently, they're not an X's Esports any longer. And of course, it is going to be Hydron and the boys. So interested to see how things do work out here. It should be, this is against Tweak, which is somebody completely different. This is 1A, Hydron and the boys on the other side of things. It should be a good semi-final nonetheless. The competition at the top end seems to be kind of leveling out a little bit, I would say. There definitely seems to be the top 4 teams, and we have all 4 of those so-called top teams here ready and go.
Yeah, the only missing team, of course, is kind of like Breaker's team, right? Who we're used to seeing. But of course, they lost out to this team that we're about to see, which is making this a little bit exciting. Actually, it's the team Tweak again for anyone who missed it before the break. Zenji 1A, Para 1A. They're missing Brazil and Jimmy today, and so they've actually teamed up with Saitama and Banged for this one. And so, very interesting team. A team of young guns, right? Self-named actually by Zenji. And boy, oh boy, were they slay dominant on Canal's first map against Breaker's team earlier when I saw them on stream. Really look phenomenal. So Saitama's really good on that snipe actually on Canals. I've scrimmed with him plenty. I can confirm that he is deadly with that weapon. Curious to see if they'll actually try and play Execution Canals at some point today. So I don't we've actually casted over that yet, Ton, which seems weird to me. After the time I casted it in UE, it's really weird. I've been scrimming on it this whole time, but we've not seen it yet. And then Tomb as well. Tomb, I don't think we've casted yet on EGL Sunday, which is also a good XE map. One of the more favorite maps of NA and /LATAM UMG. So exciting scrim. Exciting semi-final game for Zenji and the boys. But again, it's massive, aka XS.
Yeah. It is going to be difficult, isn't it? It has to be said. But yeah, it will be nice to see some of those different maps that we haven't had a chance to see so far. We're going with what? Massive KRIMCEZ. Is it KRIMCEZ? Is that what we're saying?
I think do we just call them massive?
We'll just call them massive, maybe. I
massive,
think that might be the easiest thing to do.
Yeah.
So hopefully we'll see massive advance on through. There's definitely a couple of lines in there that can get me fired from multiple jobs. So we'll try not to do that. So I mean, we're still thinking that these guys are the best team. Phantom T definitely putting up a fight last week. But at the same time, are we even going to see Phantom T in the grand final? Of course, we've got the other semi-final going on right now. I do believe that Hydron is streaming that one. So if you are interested in what's going on in that game as well, make sure you do hit him up. But interested to see who's going to be meeting them. Of course, we are expecting X's to get through this one, but that other game, as mentioned, is ongoing, and we'll be keeping an eye on that one, Toby. I'm not too sure if you have any updates from that.
No, I don't actually. No, I haven't got any updates at all, mate. But no, I will. We will keep an eye on it, as you said. Curious, actually, who's going to win that one? It could be a very interesting game between those two. Especially with how much Phantom T has been playing on Execution, how well they've been doing. Gridlock, they stormed through XS last time in the grand final, right? Even better their form performance of 5-6 right before. But then of course Control didn't really go their way. The XS or Massive guys showing that Massive pains and bounces, they do really like Control, and it showed there on that day.
It looks like it's actually 1-1 between these two teams, between Phantom T. Can it not be 1-1? Oh, okay, no, yeah, that's not. Oh, that's very true. Yeah, they are on the map number 4, so that doesn't make sense. Okay, well, we'll figure out what the actual map score is. Yeah, there we go. It's 2-1 to Hydro and the boys. All right, cool. That's no problem. So that is what is going to be our final game, is the winner of that against the winner of this. Of course, that's how semi-finals work. Not letting you explain that. Hopefully, we'll be kicking off into this one very, very shortly, because my ability to speak this evening seems pretty low. In fairness, hopefully we'll be able to get into this one. But just keeping an eye on what's going on in this other game, of course. And it's interesting to see there's still very much the top names at the top every single week, isn't it? When they do enter, it is very much a big disparity between them and people who enter every week usually. So it's interesting to see if anybody can kind of break through at this moment of time, and that's what we're kind of hoping for, to see some new names kind of pop up in split number 3. Not yet to see too much of it. I think Phantom T would be in the surprise package if anything, but we'll be interested to see if they can continue their consistency of grand finals in a row. But right now they are 2-1 down in their game and 4-1 down, and the escalation could potentially be 5, and that could. Oh no, that's it. That's 6. There you go. So that's going to be 6-1, and I think that is going to be Hydra and the boys going on into that grand final, I do believe. So they're going to have to wait just that little bit longer because this one has yet to start. So get yourself into ranked, keep that shot nice and warm there, Toby. I'm sure you'd be joining them as well. But have I got this right? No, yeah, okay. So it was Phantom T who just lost out in the semi-final there. Yeah. So of course the winner of this will go on to take on what do they call themselves? Johnny Walker.
New team name every week, it seems like.
Yeah, we're going to have to stop them doing that.
Or just give them names, just automate it.
Yeah, well, we're hoping to get a hold of the maps on this one very, very shortly as well, and we can maybe dive into it. I do know that we have been in the lobby for some time, but just having some issues getting into it. Looking over towards the other side, I think I'll let you know if that game is continuing. Somebody said that it was 2-1, but they didn't necessarily point out who to. So hopefully, oh look, there's us. There you go. No, you can't. We unfortunately can't be. We can't follow.
We'll
the game
confirm,
now,
I guess. We'll get it confirmed. I'm curious whether Tweet can actually cause the upset. Here. Typically, Saitama is playing with little bounces oftentimes in ranked, in your Nasha lobbies, if you will. And Zenji, Power, and Bang, they have the shotgun capability to do really well. Maybe, just maybe, this is the end of the road for them, or maybe they have they put a few nice kills together, and can find some success on Xe. Maybe swing that over to Control. Who knows? We'll have to keep a close eye out. But I think overall, still, they are the underdogs, right? They are a pickup at the end of the day. You can't give them too much credit based on individual skill. You're still going against the Titans of Europe right now, and they, so far they're looking really good. Last week, of course, Chris, we casted over them plenty. They looked incredible. Did massive AK access. So, all bets are off in terms of who could win this week. But a 3-1 score, if that is true, in the other semi-final from Johnny Walker, they're looking great. They're looking great. Only dropping one map in a best of 5 series. Of course, they went through Control, they went through Xe and Escalation to get through there. They're clearly doing pretty well themselves. So be curious actually to see who faces them in the final, assuming that is the score.
Yeah, well, having a look at what the maps are actually going to be, it's going to be Training Ground to kick things off, and then we get Canals, like you mentioned. So that's going to be Execution, nice. Canals, District Control, Asylum, Escalation, and check out Execution, of course, if we do need it. So we are going to get a chance to see Canals. Training Grounds to come up first on Escalation, of course. Canals, Execution, District, Control are going to be the first 3 maps. Do you envisage us needing more than 3 maps here? I'm curious.
I'll be honest. No, I don't. I think Access will be very good with the 3-0 today. But slow it down. I think CG will be pretty easy. I'll be honest, for massive. But Canals, Xe, maybe if Saitama gets a few headshots here and there, if the strat book is thrown into the mix on Canals. Like genuinely speaking, a lot of people have hated on Canals as of recent, right? When it came back to Gears 5, all the old school players were thinking back to only the worst times of Canals when rounds would camp out for endless days on the Ultimate Edition Gears 1. But Xe 2.0, it kind of definitely speeds the map up, and yes, there can be slower rounds in general, but you're forced to try and push map control nonetheless. But honestly, Canals, you can be very strat heavy in this map. You can literally do a different strat every single round, and you really wouldn't be, costing yourself, really playing too risky coming off base like that. There's lots you can do, whether that be going through the talk bow underneath the bridge, whether that be doing, loads of numbers high side, whether you get the snipe or not. Oftentimes you can leave the snipe, and that's a very good strategy. which blows people's minds because everyone thinks, oh, the sniper is the whole map, and that's how you win, is having a good sniper. But oftentimes having the numbers advantage on that initial is better than having the snipe and that delay to that player off the rip. So yeah, I hope we have a really entertaining canals. Can't wait to sink my or our teeth into that one.
Yeah, you can guide me through it. You can guide me through. Obviously, the snipers is something that's still on over here. There was a decision obviously made to take them out on the other side of the pond, which I think caught a lot of people off guard. To be honest with you, well, yeah, exactly. We don't get any of that. No headshots at all because
I mean,
it's kind of like classic canals, though, isn't it? Like
classic canals is with the snipes, mate.
Yeah, exactly. Like I remember way back first gears. You'd be going into that, and wasn't the first gears, right? Am I making that up?
Yeah, first gears.
Yeah, okay,
UE or first gears.
Yeah. And I still even remember playing it when I first got my Xbox, and like I mean that was it. It was literally who's the fastest one in the public match who can get to the sniper first. And 9 times out of 10 it would be me, and then I would die immediately. So
because you didn't weapon slide it into a wall, so you get headshot when you pick it up. Yeah,
you might as well have been speaking a completely different language there. To be honest, Tommy. I'll be honest. Hopefully, we are getting into this next game in just a second with any luck. Just keeping an eye on the chat anyway. Thank you to everybody who's come to hang out this evening. How do you commentate this? Not very well. But no, I don't know. We're not going to get into the whole world of getting into casting because that's a completely another different story for some other time. Hopefully we are loading into this one very, very shortly though, because I feel like I've been waffling for an eternity and I feel like I'm just continuously moving on. I'm trying to think though, like what do teams need to do to go on to beat KRIMCEZ here, because it has been very difficult to do. Do we envisage that happening? I think if you look at Johnny Walker, they definitely have the talent. I think you would lean towards them. Of course, they are the ones waiting in the grand final. So, what are we thinking? Do we think that they have a potential chance if they do and are to meet XX's in the grand final?
Yeah, I think they do. I think they very much have the chance. I still think they're underdog, right? Each and every week, and they will be for a while now.
Yeah.
They really, in my opinion, they just need a win under their belt to at least get them to a level mentally wise that they can actually go the full series and really give a good fight to KRIMCEZ, because they're certainly not going to 3-0 them any day, right? They are going to take some map losses in that journey. And from what we saw in that grand final last time, when they played against each other, KRIMCEZ were fine the entire time. They were getting stronger as the series went on, but the Tam Tam at the time, their heads sunk after say 2 maps or 3 maps when they won one of the maps. It was really quite disappointing. You remember that last Vazgar map? It's clear in my mind that they just deflated, and it was just like a completely different team playing at that point. Nothing was working out for them. It seemed as though the comms just went out the window, and you can't have that mentality and that level of I guess consistency throughout a series in order to beat this team, because this is the new all-star squad, right? This is the new quote-unquote elevate, where they just have this combination of skill, chemistry and practice that they are just on top right now, and you're gonna have to really outperform yourselves historically to be able to come anywhere close to beating them. If there is a team to do that though, this is the roster, right? And based on highly rated performance in the previous split, they certainly are capable of beating them. Absolutely. We're interested to see when that matchup does come through, which we expect to be the next one that we're going to be watching. But the semi-final is started, I have been told, such as Gears players just sitting in the lobby messing around. I know what you're like. We've been here for a while now, but hopefully we are ready to get into it, and should be jumping in just a second. But of course, the District on Training Grounds, we're expecting this to be heavily towards KRIMCEZ. If we're looking at Tweak, we were looking more at the executions and try and nick the control or one of the escalations. Then maybe you got a good chance, of course, in this series. But Training Grounds to kick things off. Score predictions then, Toby. Come on, give it to me. Are we saying 3-0? Because I'm kind of going 3-0. Yeah, I think you have to go 3-0. Based on just at least that they're a pickup, right? They're a pickup. You have to be an extraordinary pickup in order to be able to beat this roster of Massive. I think even a pickup of pros from NA perhaps would really struggle. Some of the top handpicked pros, based on how Access and or Massive have been performing recently. So I think you have to just go with a 3-0. But I'd like to see more. I'd like to see perhaps a win on Canals for this pickup squad. It's a very difficult map to decipher if you haven't been practicing, and a lot of strats are thrown your way.
Well, everybody in the chat, please blame Saitama because he didn't load in the lobby as he's just put in. God damn it. We'll get into this game at some point. It's now, what, 20-6. We haven't started either of the semi-finals yet. Well, no, sorry, that's a complete lie. We do have a finalist already, so yes. we're sitting there ready to go. And I think that's going to be an annoyance as well, where they're sitting there waiting for that final to start. What's the plan there, Toby? I don't know how many grand finals you've been in. I'm going to hazard a guess at none or very little. But if you're sitting there waiting and taking such a long time, it can sometimes be a bit of a deterrent because one team's going to come fresh out of a competitive game and you've been sat there for what's probably going to be the thick end of an hour now.
Yeah, I was actually thinking about this earlier. Weirdly, it's kind of like a cliche question. Would you rather be the team that's had a relaxed period to watch other teams and kind of chill out a little bit, or would you rather be that team going through like a losers bracket who has to play like every single game without a break, and then hope to perform your best in the team that's been waiting for ages? For me personally, when I've really just thought about it and what I'd personally prefer, I'd rather just be the losers bracket team and be warmed up, because I feel like I thrive on like adrenaline and dopamine. When I'm really enjoying myself and I'm really intense about things, when I'm playing, I tend to play my best. And so I think for me personally, it really helps out a lot if I've just not had a break and I can just ride the train of positivity of going through different wins.
Yes. So when you're playing, you feel like you're playing your best, yeah? I'm sure that's what you just said.
In a very long form way, yes.
Yeah.
Exactly what I said, yeah.
Yeah. High level analysis.
Listen, mate, there's warm downs, there's cool ups, there's cool downs, there's warm ups. Like, you have to really think about these things. It's a professional coaching facet.
Oh, okay.
Perhaps I'll get into coaching.
Maybe.
Perhaps I've got what it takes.
Possibly, mate. What do you is that another route that you're thinking about going down?
I don't know. It'd make me a very biased caster if I suddenly started coaching a team, right?
It would. But I think
maybe I should just coach a North American team or something.
Yeah, I think all good. Yeah. I think all good casters have to have some bias, though. You can't just let it hide. You have to have the excitement come out in some degree. Anyway.
Yeah, definitely.
Besides the point. Into this game we go. Massive taking on Tweak, of course, kicking things off here on training grounds. It has been a better start for Massive with that AC control. Atama, though, going to find some kills with Banged, and it's going to be a strong defense on the A side of things, and I'm looking forward to getting through towards C.
It's a very good start, actually, for Tweak. A and B hills capped. Yes, they're losing in score, but it looks like they are knocking on the door for a potential triple. Paints is down. Power is lurking for that Gib. Excellently timed. He will peek out. Everyone is here. Saitama gets one, and he's looking for the second as well. This is the exact kind of shotgun play you need from Tweak to be able to defeat this Massive squad, because I don't think they'll be winning on strats, right? It is very unlikely they'll be able to get an edge through teamwork, basically, given that they're a pickup. So they need to be just running at people, if anything, with their shotguns. And Saitama, Para, Banged, and Zenji, these are the type of players that can actually do that.
Tight round number one. Oh, Saitama going to fall there, though. KRIMCEZ finds two on the way out. Zenji momentarily the last alive. Over towards B as well. He's trying to keep Massive off this as long as he could, but already went over towards them. Long round to kick things off here.
Yeah.
Sort of be going in hand with how long we've been sitting in the lobby, I suppose.
I think Tweak are taking this extra seriously, and they've already gone through their strat book for Canals. I'm sure. At least that's the hope. The strat book will be mostly filled with Canals. I'm sure there's some TG strats in there. 10 seconds, though, on the clock. If Massive held out with 2, one break comes through. Shotgun battles starting on every single hill. Lighting up blue, mind you. KRIMCEZ's the last man alive on the hill. He does find Bang though, and he's on his own. Or he might have bought enough time yet. Power is sprinting to try and reach the hill. He does need to stand in it though. He can't stop. He cannot stop. He has to keep going. Looking for Crimson's, not going to find it. The collapse will not come in time. Crimson's clutching up again. Not only at the end of that round there, Chris, but also earlier, if you remember. Essentially taking what seemed like a 1v2. And that's why he's got 7 kills in just 1 round.
It's quite good at gears, in fairness.
Yeah, usually we say Pains is pretty good at gears, but to be fair, this whole roster is just a bit silly.
Yeah, they're all really good, in fairness. Interested to see what Pains can do this week, though. High level opposition. I always like to see the battle between him and Dragons.
Yeah, so it's a really good comparison, actually, those two. Similar style of play, for sure.
Oh, yeah. Fast, cracked kids. That's essentially what they are.
Yeah, and Dragons, of course, previously, the top slayer in EGL back in the Pro League, right? And this is kind of the role you'd expect from Pains or Mantle. Should he take that up in the future? Let's see. Massive, clearly poised to make a play here. Flash is in hand. KRIMCEZ will throw the first one. Saitama is full red. Dropped immediately. Oh, but banged with a nice Boltok headshot to our right, taking down the star himself, Pains. That quickly ended things, didn't it, for Massive?
It did. Not a great deal they've been able to do so far in this round. Tweak very much in control here. It's a hard push. Well, what's the plan? No, well, there you go. There's the plan. Overextend a little bit over towards B. Zenji trying to do his best, and, well, gonna get a push. Let's see if we can find anything. Yep. Pains will fall. Oh, maybe it'll find another one here as well. One little bounces, but Bounces surviving as best as he can, allowing Massive to get back into this game, but only momentarily. Just had it pointed out to me. It is the one, the only Breaker's birthday.
King of Wales.
I know, the King of Wales. Okay, so who you must have lost the fight in that case then.
I don't think there was ever a fight, to be honest. I think I stopped competing too early, and then Breaker just took the competition without me even knowing there was one.
Oh, that's unfortunate.
Yeah.
But that's a fair point. As Matt's just made is that, well, if Toby, if you were still playing at the time that Breaker was playing, would it have been
the last time I was competing, I was on his teammate. We were both teammates. So I don't know how that would have panned out, to be honest. Going from there, we kind of just went our separate ways.
Who was the one? Could have been the King of Wales. One could have been the Prince.
How do you decide that, though? Is that like an age thing or an experience thing?
Probably just who's better at gears, to be fair. That was kind of the route I was going for. I mean, Massive looked like they were about to lose this round anyway. I mean, Tweak have just locked that in and said absolutely not for the whole entire round. One apiece. How old is Breaker today? I'm gonna hazard a guess at 25. You just told me it was 24. Okay, well, I absolutely wasn't listening. Yeah.
I mean, I'm 25. Do I get the king crown now? Is that how it works?
Maybe you're just 25. I feel like you've been casting gear since I was about 15, which was a long time ago.
I mean, yeah, me and Breaker were last teammates in UE. That's when I stopped competing. I liked UE, mate. I really did.
Good game, you live and breathe Gears of War, mate. It doesn't matter what game they release. Anyway.
Yeah. I can confirm. I'm pretty high up on the 2v2 national leaderboard, I'll have you know.
Oh, really?
I've been playing a lot of Op 7, actually. Me and my friend Tactics. I think we're like 200-0. 210-0.
Is he busy on a Sunday?
That. What's that?
Is he busy on a Sunday?
I think he is. Haven't spoken to him today. It's very unfortunate. Yeah, I know. I was talking to him yesterday about sorting a team out, but There you go. There you go.
I do apologise to the chat for the complete waffling on this one, but it was a bit of a slow round, the previous one, wasn't it?
I know.
Nothing really happened. It was like they got the 2 cap, and then Massive kind of was just like, oh, okay, that's cool. And while Massive are going to answer back immediately, though, the triple cap coming on through, that's going to be 2-1 now. 24 is not that old. Like, we can't go after Breaker for that.
I think the average age of gamers in general, whether that's competitive players or not, is just rising. Over the years. I think when we're playing in our 40s one day, Chris, it will not be out of the norm. I think we'll be in good company. So
it was a long time ago since I really said I was competitive in anything, to be honest with you. Including casting.
You're competitive with FIFA,
right? No. No. I am very average at FIFA. Oh. I'm surprised that Matt didn't question even just an average tag, to be honest.
You need to scrim more often. That's it. That's the
no,
secret of
FIFA. I'm just bad, if I'm honest.
Oh.
Distinctly below average at League of Legends, I would say.
Sounds like a scrim issue to me.
Yeah.
Increased scrim frequency.
Yeah.
It's a secret to everything.
That solves everything, by the sounds of things.
Oh. I think we should talk about the game. I'll be honest.
I mean,
we should probably give this some justice.
Honestly, but you can blame me for that one. You can drag me wildly back into the game if you like. That's no problem.
We haven't talked about control or mouse and keyboard yet.
Oh, now the mouse and keyboard one's an interesting one, but you can talk about control if you like. Or did you not?
I think we'll come back to it. We're going to run out of talking points. Yeah, this game as well is starting to. It's surprising. No, honestly, Tweak the amount of score they're getting. They're close in rounds. This is a lot harder for Massive to deal with at this current time compared to previous matches we've been casting over them on Escalation recently. Parrot will get taken down though, and Ahel. Yep, there's the overextension. Didn't think Tweak were over just yet. Zenji was looking for that 1v cross in the back though. And all of a sudden, Massive are starting to snowball a little bit in kills. You can see bounces and Pain starting to strut the stuff. And with this much of a score lead, I'm going to slow down a little bit and perhaps see another round out.
Yeah, looking that way. These rounds, apart from one, have went all the way to the max score. Good shots by Para, goodness me. From distance. Oh, Pain's going to be challenged, and Zenji has done very, very well to get a hold of that kill. B now going to go over towards Tweak. Losing C as well here if you're Massive. You need to capture something. A is on the cards. Big fight going on over towards that as well. Crimson's trying his best to stay alive. He's going to find the kill on the banged as well, and now it's just about Massive just holding on to one. We're going to get a hold of a second here as well. Saitama's going to drop, and that should be C. Going over towards Massive. That should be the round. Going over towards Massive in 5 seconds or so. So there you go. 3-1 now. Tweak really have been forcing them all the way. These have been elongated rounds. 3-1 as mentioned, but not necessarily plain sailing for Massive so far.
No, not at all. And these rounds have been, fairly close as well as we come into the start of the second half, and I think Tweak are in a good position here. Speaking about weapon placements previously, I think actually, okay, fair enough. A snipe actually going down at you for Saitama. Interesting. We were just talking about him being a very good sniper himself. Perhaps wants to warm up a little bit before Canals. I'm sure he'll be the one to pick up the weapon. And so far, slaying-wise, they're keeping up. If you look at the numbers on the kills, they're fairly even actually between Tweak and Massive. They can keep this up. Tweak, they're in a good position to perhaps win this initial. In fact, 2 players down, taking down Pains and Crimson instantly. Even the overextension coming on through airfill, that will surely be locked in. And there you go. Tweak responding immediately as they take down every single player and overextend off the rip.
Fantastic stuff. Very, very well played from the side of Tweak. very much making this a game. Goes to the long shot down over towards the U. Be a little bit more hotly contested when we do swap sides. Well, sorry, we've already swapped sides. When we are now, obviously. Over towards E we go then. Obviously, that's not as influential as the drop shot often is. It's one of those that, you know, maybe you can slow the game down a little bit with it. Tweak though, trying their best here. Has to be said. Bringing something different to the table. Para's going to fall though. Saitama are also going to follow in the corner. Pains knows that he's done and dusted. We do have one player to deal with over towards this right-hand side. It's going to be banged. Actually played the Secret Man and falls down. He's eventually going to drop himself, but you did find a kill there, so well played and banged. Zenji trying something over towards the home hills here, but momentarily it is Massive in control.
Yep. Stuff bounces, picking up that retro. Sniper for Crimsons and Saitama finding KRIMCEZ. The quick rotation over. Hope they're prepared. Saitama has to be careful. No, he'll get sniped instantly. Crimsons with the first, looking for the second. And there's a lot of pressure on that man's shoulders. And he's aiming at. Banged with the cross in the back. Crim has to choose where he's going to go. Para tries to push out though. Instantly down by Pains. Bang just find one though. Saitama again with another kill. You know, they've been very good, Tweak, of just, you know, stealing kills here and there, right? Not allowing Massive to get any easy triple cap opportunity.
Yeah. We really have made things very, very awkward. As mentioned, it has felt like quite a lengthy game of control of escalation. These teams taking their time getting through these rounds. It has not been easy for Massive to get themselves in a good lead. Oh, there you go. Another shot here for Crimson's coming on through. Para falling. Oh, tries to go the ambitious one. Not going to happen. They're going to have to back on down and defend E with his teammates here, Toby.
Yes, he is. Oh, lovely play from Crimson.
Oh.
Amazing. Reading the player so well. Saitama to his right. Para in front. The shot hole from Crimson's is perfect. Saitama will not let another kill go through, though. Alright, the score is just so significantly in favor of Massive here. Bounces win his 1B over at the home hill. And now they'll go one round away from taking map number 1. Well, Massive. Look at all the headshots. It's crazy how many headshots there have been this round. My goodness me. More headshots than actual kills, I think.
That was wild.
Anyway.
Very, very well played, though, in the end by Massive. 4-2 now. Moving into the next round. One away and Lock's going to come in on the incense, so this fight over towards the long shot is a little bit more just about the firefight rather than the fire in the fight, of course. As mentioned, Massive 4-2 up now.
Yeah, I think so far Massive have been the better team with these incense, so Tweak will be probably a little bit happier with this. Make it a little bit more simplistic, this fight, less to account for, and they can just focus on, you know, tunnel visioning their kills, right? Let's see. Saitama pushing on right hand. They've really got the damage here. Well played indeed. One player tries to swoop back in. That is KRIMCEZ with a double. Looking for the third. Can't find it for now. Does it even matter? Para has to get in a hill or get some kills ASAP, and it's not going to happen. Massive steam through on that last round. 5-2, the final score.
Oh, Crimsons. Letting them know about it. But 5-2 to Massive in map number 1. The escalation goes up towards them very, very quickly before we do head into the new game modes. Although execution, how new is Canals? On execution, of course, not very. But, you know, it has to be said that the boys on Tweak didn't make that easy for Massive. There was some hard, drawn-out rounds across the board there. So it does make things interesting heading into the next map. But that wasn't necessarily easy by any stretch of the imagination.
No, I think, honestly, Tweak made it a little bit harder than we typically see for this roster on escalation with any opponents, right? When you think of, say, Breaker's team, when you think of Phantom T, even a lot of games with you know, Tam Tam, now Johnny Walker, who are waiting in the final. A lot of their escalation games have been a bit easier, have massive against those opponents. So yeah, fair play to Tweak. They're clearly playing well. They're clearly warmed up, both teams, I would argue. Going into Canals, I think it's safe to say that Tweak are perhaps a better position for that map than say, I don't know, I want to say Checkout, for example, because that's obviously a very strong map historically for Massive. And Canals, again, is perhaps a little bit more of a strategic map where they can slow it down a little bit and see if Saitama can get the edge with his awesome sniping, and see if they can get the numbers advantage from there and go from there and win in those, you know, shotgun fights. Clearly, they were able to get enough kills in TG to actually accumulate rounds and what would be execution. Hopefully, for their sake, they can do it again here in second map Canals.
Yeah, let's see if they can get it done, and we should be loading this one fairly sharpish. But this is their chance. You know, we often have seen teams go up against Massive or formerly X's, and this is where they have potentially got a little bit of a weak point when it does come to these execution maps. It's one of those where the game can be played in a couple of different ways. Of course, you can play passively, you can play aggressively. 9 times out of 10, it is aggressively, but of course, it's around the power weapons. We have one either side. When it comes down to Canals, it's that classic sniper action that we haven't seen yet so far in the Open Series, so we're going to get a chance to see this one and hopefully stop us waffling on, or me waffling on about absolutely nothing as we load into the game, and to see if these teams can show us something maybe a little bit different. Of course, it's not typical in the sense of, you know, on an NA side, that would obviously we're not seeing snipers either side of Canals, which is a little bit of a question mark that a lot of people sort of put around that. But in our side of things, we're keeping that the same way. And it's going to be interesting to see how it does break down, especially for me. I haven't seen this map since Execution 2.0 did come through, so keen to see who looks good on it, to be honest, Toby. But you're saying we need to keep an eye out for Saitama. Hopefully we're jumping into this one in just a second. But any predictions for this one? We were still kind of going for a 3-0, weren't we? So I'm curious, does this maybe change our minds with the fact that Canals is in?
No, I don't think so. I think you still have to give Massive credit where credit's due. They're still playing against a pickup, right? You know, they're still their usual selves. They're still playing well, and I think, you know, on paper they shouldn't have a problem winning this map, but they do have to play very well. You know, they have to play at their usual selves. But that's theory, right? In practice, you know, something might change, right? So again, Saitama might just go off with a snipe this map, have the greatest map ever of that he's had on Canals with this sniper. Zenji might be able to lock down on his 1B somewhere, whether that be high side or low side. It really depends. And that's the interesting thing with Canals, right, on this game, was as we go into it just in a second for the first time on stream, is that given that it's now XT 2.0, Chris, you can't actually play an opening strat where your goal is literally to get the torque bow and then go and camp and wait for your sniper or torque bow to pick a kill. Because if you do that, you're immediately giving away map control for that hill. You know, the hill can spawn either at torque bow, it can spawn on the middle bridge, or it can spawn in Boltok. Either way, you want to be in control of middle bridge in order to get into that ring when it comes down to it. So you can't just trap yourselves on your bridge anymore. You really do have to try and play for middle bridge control, and that's what Banged has done immediately from low side. Massive playing it a little bit differently. They're playing aggressive through the high. Oh my goodness me. Bang tries to mantle bounces. Bounces just counter it right when snipers are aiming across the way on either side. Saitama versus KRIMCEZ. Oh my goodness me. I completely forgot about KRIMCEZ. Literally the best sniper in Europe on UE, many would argue. Oh! Amazing to see him again on the snipe and already going off with the weapon.
Yeah, that's a hell of a shot. Zenji gets taken down. No auto aim here either. Has to be pointed out. Bouncer uses the grenades very, very well, though. Saitama's going to be dealt with. And as our Tweak in round number 1, outside of a para 1v4. We'll find one before falling. 1-0 now to Massive. Good shot by KRIMCEZ there, though. To become a...
The banter. You'll love to see it. All in good faith.
As always.
But yeah, KRIMCEZ honestly was the best sniper on Canals back on UE, so it's Saitama's got his work cut out for him, safe to say. I can't believe I forgot about him. That could be that's a really big advantage actually to Massive on this map compared to, you know, their rivals. And so yeah, Tweak have their work cut out for them, and perhaps Saitama won't be as much of a factor as perhaps we originally thought he might be able to be. Again, strat change completely from both teams. Massive will play aggressive for the mid through low this time round. And for the middle, Saitama will find Pains, though, as he's starting to pistol from the Boltok. Not on a really good location to be shooting from. Bounces, meanwhile, will utilize the map control they gained, having those frags. But they have lost middle bridge control, going back into Junction. Oh my goodness me. Bounces pushing, and Saitama getting a second headshot of the round. 2v2 as KRIMCEZ levels things out, finding Zenji. Tweak a little bit split up now. There's the push. Oh my goodness me. The action does not stop.
Doesn't. 2v2. Saitama looking for the pick.
KRIMCEZ still with that snipe as well, so Saitama's not got free reign just to keep his head up and staring at the two. Has to be careful. Oh my goodness me, that was so close to a Superman. Para will get the torque bow as a result, though. And now a little bit of time before the ring spawns. I'm curious if it's going to spawn at torque bow, because Para could literally sit here and force the players out. As you can see, one has rotated in the form of Krim. He's underneath at torque bow to get an angle down there. Para has to be careful. He is going to get down in the process, and Saitama can't really help him out too much. Given KRIMCEZ is above with a snipe. There it is.
He's done well. Rings up in 10 seconds, though. KRIMCEZ is there. Torque still available for Para, though, and that's where things are going to change, but a great shot from KRIMCEZ. Into overtime we go. Cog capturing, though, and Para will find one. Has to go quickly. Stalemate was there, but KRIMCEZ will come through. That's the first time we've seen the ring even spawn on stream. 2-0. And KRIMCEZ once again talking what he needs to.
That was an incredible round. Couldn't stop speaking. The events just kept on happening, and both teams are doing a really good job, actually, of whittling down the numbers when there was the opportunity to do so. Massive, in fact, was only able to stay in that round because KRIMCEZ was rotating straight to Junction, and they were taking out the numbers to compensate for Saitama's headshots. Really, really good stuff. Pro Snipers picked up again. This time, Massive will take middle bridge. 2 players on the Junction, though. For Tweak. Oh, Saitama again, headshot on Pains. Bounces finds Para, though. Bounces pushing all the way. Actually, he's check on Saitama. Bounces might even look for the pinch here and continue on pushing. Has to be really careful in the process, though. Every player is back for Tweak to try and push out on Bounces, and they have to be... yeah, KRIMCEZ is rotating as well. This is... Oh my goodness me. Downed and just martyrdoms too. No problem. Okay, we're down to 1v1 somehow. KRIMCEZ still with snipe. Banged with no weapons to his name. But Banged has to go at some point. He has to push. Because the hill will be up.
I can't believe that's worked. Cannot believe that has worked. KRIMCEZ now. For the pick, and he's in the better spot here. Banged is going to have to come out of cover at some point, and well, he's going to take that one on the shoulder. He has to make his way over for the ring, of course. Just spot him out. KRIMCEZ. Oh, he's lining them up, but not quite hitting the headshots. Now looking to cut off here as well. The ring spawning up top, and there's only so many you can take. Another round for KRIMCEZ and for Massive. That's a big shout out
to G Fuel.
Not to G Fuel specifically, but of course to the grenade from KRIMCEZ. That was ridiculous.
Can't you cannot up A around a corner when a sniper is aiming at you with the caliber of skill that KRIMCEZ does. Unfortunately, to roll wide or something, really difficult to pull off a push like that. 4v4 again, back to full health. Banged quickly, bringing it to a 3v4. The pinch will come on through. Bounces gets taken down this time, 3v2. And again, Chris, Tweak have the numbers advantage, but they need to be able to keep it. They need to make sure all their numbers are accounted for. No one's going to get singled out, because time and time again, Massive will push for that. Saitama with the angle. Nice check on KRIMCEZ. Careful, of course, to stay in cover from KRIMCEZ, who's looking desperately for a snipe 1v1 at this point in time. 1v3 for him to try and clutch up now.
Yeah, this will make it 3-1. Oh. not the best of spots to be in. And Tweak will find themselves around. Well, now, as mentioned, 3-1. Massive though. Still very much in control. We haven't seen too much from Saitama yet.
I mean, he's been having a lot of headshots. We've just not been we've just not seen his point of view because we have to focus on the center fights. So they've been so frantic for both teams. Let's see. Strat-wise, what's it going to be? In fact, 5 and 7 on the mini map, going to push high side. They're trying to challenge the push from low. This is where everyone meets onto the middle, perhaps, as the numbers do start trading out. 3v2, 2v1. Saitama, there he is, gets one headshot, but as the dust settles, he will be all on his own. But he will be the only sniper on the map. I wonder if Massive will try and rotate to find KRIMCEZ snipe, or they just keep Saitama contained. Looks like the latter. Saitama is looking desperately for that one headshot opportunity.
There's a potential for him here, but I think if the other side play this smartly, you can just back down and wait for the ring that does come up. But Saitama still does have that advantage of having the sniper, but still doesn't really help you too much when Pains is pushing you like this. Pains can just literally just guard him off here, can't he? That's the problem.
Saitama just waiting for the opportunity again for a 1v. Yep. They're split up right now. You know, this is a push. No one's going to be able to angle. Pains does have to roll back. Full red, though. Ooh. Trapped in the corner, will get down. Forces the 1v1. Saitama confident in his push, looking for that one body check. Krim is not going to give him an easy opportunity, though. Just standing back, playing the damage. Back A's back, though. Full red. Saitama will find it. 2v1 will come through. A 1v2 for Saitama. Zenji is excited about that one, as I am. Well played, Saitama. 9 kills leading the lobby. And that's it for me. You know, that's execution 1.0, right? That's the basics of execution. Do not split up when your opponent's trying to clutch, because that's exactly what they're looking for, right? If you're going to split up, you make sure that you can run away from that 1v. You make sure you can reset. Otherwise, that could happen. 2 1v1s, and you give a really good player like Saitama the opportunity to clutch.
That's very, very well played by Saitama, and it has made this one a lot more interesting. KRIMCEZ to swap that out. Oh, Zenji, though, you're going to get caught out. Crimson's forces the angle. He has to pop his head up, and it was a really, really nice shot. Oh my god, that didn't even see power there on the way around. And well, Pains did. And Saitama, well, you know, 1v2 last time around was solid. The 1v4 is not going to happen. 42 now. Oh, I thought that would. I was kind of waiting for that to happen. I have to say, I do enjoy watching execution.
It's brilliant. It's
I would say
really good.
Of the other two games.
Yeah, I've always been the same, mate. Always. Really like Single Life. Just a really nice pace to it, and I think right now on Canals we're seeing more strategy with XE Canals than we do on most escalation maps. I'll be honest, in terms of initials, right, and planned strategies. Let's see, 3v4, everyone trying to collapse on the high side, everyone looking for that numbers situation to try and give their team advantage. 3v2, Crimson's going straight in for the up A, knowing Saitama doesn't have a shotgun out. 1v3. Look at Pain's just guarding the cover as he knows his opponent's red. Lovely job from them. 5-2. Massive starting to pull away.
5-2.
We're getting commentary from the players as well.
Yeah, no, yeah.
It's great.
It's maybe been a bit more interesting than that was.
Right. 5-2. Do they go for the leaving of the snipe? They're doing that. They got 4 high. Okay, this is something I've not scrimmed with Zenji and Saitama. I'll be honest. They played a lot of this map, but they've not done this. Let's see what they do. They are flying at the enemy bridge. Okay, this is really highly telegraphed. It's very easy to see coming, and as you can see, Massive is starting to pull back. Nades are being thrown, I'm pretty sure, or flashbangs. The kills are getting through, though. 4v1 is going to pay off, apparently. And Zenji will get that last kill. Did anyone die?
They just force on KRIMCEZ with the sniper. You can't do anything.
No one died, yeah.
I respect it.
I think Massive on a different day would have perhaps just sprinted for their lives early and made sure there was no way that could happen. But yeah, as you can see, KRIMCEZ was very scared, perhaps, of that strategy. And yeah, it is very highly telegraphed. When you have 4 high side and that you can't see anyone on their bridge, the low side, or underneath the middle, you know they're all high. So everyone knows exactly where they're going if you do that. Strat-wise, it's gone back a bit more to base. 2 high side, 1 with snipe, and 1 low for Tweak. Things do slow down. Zaitama grabbing the turbo. Need a call out for someone.
Yeah, you need somebody pressuring KRIMCEZ at least, don't you?
Yeah.
Oh, banged. Watch your head, son. Last one alive is banked. This would be 6. This would be the map. This would be 2-0. And it will be 2-0. Massive get it done on Canals. Very, very nicely done. But it has to be said, some nice rounds out of Tweak throughout. We will head into the control with Massive 2-0 up. Looking to book themselves a place in that grand final once again. And they are looking likely to do so. Yeah, the strats were nice from Tweak, has to be said.
It's the map, mate.
Yeah,
it's the map.
The execution not quite there in some of them, but very well played nonetheless. An interesting one, an entertaining one as well. Very nicely done. But yeah, we are going to be heading into map number 3 with a 2-0 lead for Massive. But you know, I enjoyed Canal, so it has to be said. I think having that sniper battle, it's not like it used to be, of course, as you mentioned, like where it can be super slow. Players have still got something to play for with the ring, so that does force you have to take these fights. It puts you at a disadvantage if you've got the sniper and you're in a 1vx, you know, unless it's Saitama who did manage to pull that one off. It's, yeah, I enjoyed that. It was very, very good. We just need Tomb checked off the list, so anybody listening, if you're doing your videos for the grand final, make sure you try and get that one locked in to make things a little bit more interesting. But honestly, I think as far as on a viewership side of things, I think execution is definitely one of the more friendly ones, I would say. I think escalation could be sometimes a little, I don't want to say confusing because we've been here for like, 3-4 years with escalation now. But at the same, well, maybe it's not that long. But we've been here for quite some time with escalation. Of course, control. Everyone's still kind of getting used to a little bit. It can be a little bit high-paced, as said, but execution is kind of that classic Gears of War, isn't it? So it's very nice to watch and very well played from both 2 teams. We've seen some flashy players, some 1v2, some clutches. It does make a difference to the levels, has to be said. Enjoyed that. Anyway, we'll be heading into map number 3 in just a second. I do believe we're going over towards District. It seems to be the favorite map, Toby. I know you're a big scrimmer of Control, as you like it to be done. What's your favorite map so far, then? Because I actually don't mind watching Nexus. I think it's pretty good in the way that it does move around. But District seems to be the one that a lot of teams are picking quite a lot.
My personal favorite Control map probably is Regency, actually.
One that
I really like it. I think District and Nexus are a little bit more frantic, and they play in their own unique way. I quite like the slower pace, more methodical approach that Regency offers. It's kind of like a love it or hate it for a lot of players. They either genuinely prefer the really frantic, fast pace matches where hills are easy to break and you have to really, just chase down players to take them out, or they generally prefer the slower pace Regency where it's more about setups and really coordinated, sophisticated pushes as a 4. And I'm tend to lean the latter way of slow play, and that's generally why I like Regency a lot. I think it's a really, really good Control map, and I don't think it's going anywhere. Whether it's in Europe, whether that's in NA LATAM side, of course, they have 4 Control maps now, and Regency hasn't budged. In fact, Nexus was the one that was dropped from their original 3 or 4. So I think Regency is my favorite, and then in terms of second, third, I think. Yeah, I probably prefer Nexus to District. I'll be honest. I've always liked Nexus. I think I was one of the earlier players to actually suggest, hey, we should play this more often, because it just kept coming up in rank Koth when it was new back in Op 5, and I was really loving it. That and Regency with my team at the time. So yeah, I think that is we've got a nice little map pool at the moment. There's training ground to look at. There's also Tomb and Aphira, by the way. A lot of my friends, in the PC community, they've been saying Tomb and Aphira are generally perhaps the best control maps for them that they've been playing on ranked. And I think Aphira as well actually has a lot of potential to try out on execution as well. So that's something I'll actually hopefully be looking to do in my future scrims, perhaps in the coming week, is to actually give that a go. If anyone wants to scrim and want to test out some new maps, I'm all for it. Just let me know. Just hit me up on the DMs. Aphira and Tomb control/Axie. That'll be really fun to give a go.
Well, you let us know how that goes, mate. You let us know how that goes.
I will, yeah.
Excellent. Yeah. For anybody who is asking in the chat, these skins will be coming in the grand final, so make sure you are tuned in then. I know there's a couple of you who are in the grand final who are actually asking as well. Brick is saying that reactor control is good as well. Is that not one that's over on NA? And the NA side of
that's
things?
That's in NA as well. Op 5,
yeah.
I think that was Op 4 actually. That map came out. That's been out a while. I've played a handful of very competitive Koth matches on that as well. With the PC team and whatnot, and yeah, it played very well. Really liked that map. Actually, I prefer it to Training Grounds. Ultimately, I think Training Grounds a lot of players are fans of, because of its history with ELO 8s and whatnot, with Nasher and Snub only. But I think Training Grounds just doesn't hold up as well when you bring in power weapons and lancers into that mix on top. I think Reactor, though, is perhaps a little bit better in that regard, and very, very nice map as well, a beautiful map. And it was sad, actually, when it was quickly tossed aside in Escalation. It just seemed like no one in the whole world of Gears Esports wanted to test Reactor Escalation out, thoroughly. But maybe we'll see more of it with Control in the future.
We'll not get on the testing side of things yet, so we'll not delve down that rabbit hole. We should be heading into map number 3 in just a second, as mentioned. But as said, skins will be coming during the grand final, just before we do kick things off. So if you are in the chat, make sure you are completing your quests, etc., etc. I'm not sure what it is this week. I have been told. I'll not give you any clues, but we'll find out in a second. Of course, it is one of the Team Phantom skins. I'm curious, I can't remember if we made a decision on it or if we've just been told what to give away this week, but we'll find out shortly. I feel as if Matt's about to tell me, but either way, we are heading into District Control. I didn't get that. I'm sure he told us, but I didn't hear him. Either way, District Control is loading in, and it needs to be the reverse sweep yet in the semi-finals. Full tweak, and well, somebody like that. So we will be restarting this one up.
It's not Saitama. He was in the game and actually just looking at his corpse when we jumped in. So yeah, it's not Saitama this time. Someone else.
Good. Yeah. What's the route back in then here? Obviously, a win on the control is needed for the side of Twig, but honestly, I don't think they've really been too bad at all this week. From what we've seen, a couple of decent rounds of escalation, a couple of decent rounds of execution, but that's kind of as far as it goes, isn't it? There isn't that next step that they need to make.
Yeah, I'm just looking through my notes from previous weeks, actually, because if you remember, cast your mind back, we had District Control map number 3 with Team 1A versus XS. I think perhaps was maybe the first or second week of this split, and I'm not sure much you remember of that, but it was actually quite a close game in the latter half, right? It was just the issue again. It's these top teams, they're able to start off stronger a lot more quickly, win the initial and snowball that into like the first 80 points, the first 100 points, that third, if you will, first third of the map, and then it's really hard to come back. But teams oftentimes give a really good game when you start throwing rotations in, when you start, trying to bring in strats where you consider, shall we play for this current hill? Should we set up for the next? Should we try and start going for power weapons? When teams start to learn during a map's duration, then they start to perform better. I think if this team, which has lots of experience in Control, by the way, of course, the 1A boys are big fans of Control, one of the top teams that was always for it. Saitama, I know I've been scrimming loads of Control with him, and we've just seen he's been very good today in terms of the shotgun department. These players have the capability to actually do really well in District Control, and this might be the most frantic Control map. Speaking of, the pace earlier, might be the most frantic map in the game for Control, outside of something extreme like Checkout. But that should really play into the favor of Tweak with how they've been playing. They played very well on TG, on Canals as well. Saitama clutched up, of course, on Canals. This is perhaps a map they can cause the upset. They just have to start strong, just like Massive will intend to do.
Well, hopefully we will be loading back in just a second. I've been told what the skin is, but we're not letting you know yet, obviously. That will be during the grand finals. Toby, you can see what it is though, but that's not a bad one, I don't think. I know there's it's not the one a lot of people have been asking for, and I'm not making any promises on those either. But nonetheless, it's another good one to get in at least. Do we see this happening for Tweak here? It's a game mode that we've seen KRIMCEZ obviously look very good at. Are we expecting any trees to be pulled up here? Because I, for one, I'm kind of not.
There's some sturdy trees on that roster, mate. It's going to be very hard to pull them out of the ground. I think you really have to just go gung-ho and just win all your shotgun fights and really pile on the pressure early. I think even just an early strong start of themselves of like an 80-0 is actually really required at this point to defeat them. I think it's safe to say, right, that this team Massive is perhaps the better team out of the top 3-4 teams on Control that we've seen so far easily. And I think that comes down to not just their teamwork and their skill, but also perhaps a little bit more practice than everyone else as well. And it's starting to show, they perform better on the online community tournaments before Control joined the cycle. And as a result, Tweak really have to have everything going for them. But as mentioned, they've got it all set up for them if they are to cause an upset. Let's see if they can do it.
Let's see if they can do it. It will be difficult, it has to be said. And well, it's a good start for them. This initial hill.
Yeah.
Of course, the tugboat now going to be in the hands of Saitama. Well, no longer, as he's immediately dead.
No.
I think you have to say in that situation, he maybe needs to play his life a little bit better.
For me, that's just like a bit of micromanagement as well. Just go up further to the left of the cover, just in case there is a player there, or just so you can see further into the spawn, right? And play it safe. Especially when you have a torpo. Can't die when you have a torpo like that. Nonetheless, they will have to move on. 30 points almost for Tweak. Bounces flying in, though, getting 2. Quickly improving things. Saitama's push not going to come on through for him. And our Banged is trapped at nades. Massive are certainly not letting the 60 points of the middle hill to get 2 out of hand. Next hill, of course, Chris, will be other side of Juice. Bottom left corner from where we can see at the Boltok. And right now, Tweak are spawning on that side. They need to make sure they keep that going, though, and keep that setup as Massive are stuck in the center.
Score-wise, what we're saying, very close between these two. Zenji's just trying to stay alive back here and just stop the cross coming in from green. Bounces is going to fall. Saitama doing well and just locking this down nicely. I think if you're Massive, you maybe need to choose a different route. But I tell you what, the aggression coming out from Tweak here. Oh, what are they going to do with finding this fight? And Banged will find the fight. In's going to fall as well. This is good time coming in for Tweak and will continue to come in as well. Bounce is kind of caught between a rock and a hard. This has been a good hold so far.
Yeah, nice pinch from Zenji as well to wrap all the way around and find bounces, and that will ensure that they've got the spawn lock right. They've blocked the short, and they can keep Massive from spawning bottom left, or even further out in the opposite corner if they can somehow block that spawn as well. That would be a very difficult challenge to pull off against a team like Massive. Right now, they do have the numbers. Saitama did have the damage, but he is going to get dropped. Para has got some cross from the right, but oh my goodness me, Crimson's clutching up. Despite all of that, he will stay alive, and they will break on through Will Massive, despite all the hard work from Tweak. And it's been quite unfortunate, actually, for Tweak so far. They've been able to get, like, the first half of the hill, but then very quickly broken down on the second half of both hills, thanks to the awesome plays from individuals on Massive.
Yep, very well done.
Look at this.
Massive back into the game. But Zenji, oh, you'll get the revive through as well. So rotations start to come in. Bang does the first one there. It's just Tweak now being the first one there. Pain's just waiting for some support. Already being tagged up though, so you know exactly where the push is coming from. Saitama needs to stay alive. Grenades and of course the Topo coming out here from Zenji. Crazed, watch out. Oh, got him. There you go. Good shooting from Zenji once again. You get KRIMCEZ on the push in here as well. On the cross. Doesn't quite clean it. Very, very close. Eventually we'll get a hold of it. Bounces on his own back here. It's been very well played from Tweak so far. Been now rotating and holding against Massive.
Yeah.
There's a decent amount of time left here as well.
They've been the better control team for me so far. As I've said, right, Massive were just able to pull off some individual stardom on the first two hills that were even enable them to get into the hills themselves, right, and keep the score as close as it is. But they can't rely on that. They can't rely on their individual raw skill to break through these setups. They need to be able to rotate and set up themselves, or they're just going to lose the majority of points off each hill. This hill in particular is a big one because you can hold on to it a little bit easier than the rest, especially that middle hill. Bang, very good push to find the shot from above. Bounces with that new torque bow. And they're looking to shut down the players left in the spawn. Bearing in mind, the new hill will be at bandstand. Bounces as a torque bow, so yeah, I think backing out at this point in time might be a very good shout indeed. Good shots and Saitama. Oh my, that movement is actually crazy. Somehow still alive. He will finally get dropped. As it stands, it's working out for Tweak because they are two members down for a second and they will be backs up against the wall for the bandstand hill switch.
Bang doing his best to try and stay alive here. Forcing them away as best they can. They really are playing this well. Saitama gonna fold up. Feel as if Massive. I don't want to say they haven't been in their highest gear throughout this series, but definitely feels like they need to step up another at least. Get themselves in the position to win that one. Bounces with the aggressive flash. He's trying to force them out of bandstand. He's succeeded. Around banged, having to back on down. Stuck in a bit of a corner here. Well, Bounces now stuck in the respawn queue. Saitama will find that one. Pain's from behind, but what can he do? Well, nothing. Look at this from Tweak. Still a good chunk of time left here as well. And yeah, they're just playing this so clean.
I think finally Control is just really putting on show how close Tweak have been in the slaying department with Massive, and that very quick rotation from Tweak on each hill is just really giving them so much in the way of points and value. On top of that, finally again Massive do break through, but it's the second half of the hill, right? They're not gonna have the full setup. And it's not going to work out for them on the next hill either. The next one is actually at nades, and it's a very easy one to set up on. They're going to push through and try and stagger some kills. Crazed with the double, with the torpo. Lovely job from him. But you can see Power and Banged. They're positioning for that next hill of the frag grenades, and oftentimes this hill on bandstand is typically left early on like that 10-second marks just to allow the players to rotate for the next one.
Let's see if they can get rotating. KRIMCEZ trying to put the damage down where he can. Saitama flash him out. And for all that, Tweak have definitely played Control in a better fashion than Massive. Scoreline isn't that different. 40 points or so is kind of been the difference since the second hill or so. Saitama should fall. Very well played by Massive. They will break through. It does seem as if, Tweak are getting those rotations. They are able to lock it in for a solid amount of time, but Massive are just sort of clawing their way back into this one a little bit, it feels, Toby.
Oh, look at this for a Streaker man, though. Craze peeks out, he finds one, looks for a second, not going to find it. Bang will be revived in time. As it stands, 3v2, they do have the numbers to push on in Cinema. As soon as players start crumbling in this area, you can't cover every angle. You can very quickly be piled on. As Banged and Zenji have found the kills, the points will come through for them with 30 seconds left to go. Top up as well. Saitama pushing on through versus Bounces. Great shot from Bounces though on to Saitama. Will get the kill, and that's the torque bow as his reward. Next hill will be at the opposite Boltok. So players should look to start rotating perhaps early for that short spawn over at Talon. Of course, that area just between the frags and the next hill that you see. Secret Man for Sotama, that will certainly help. Finds one, not going to find the second. KRIMCEZ will up A him. A continued conflict. We'll move on to next.
And still, it's about that 40-point difference. That's the 300, so we're only about halfway there. It has to be said, for every one of these games, yes, it has went over towards the other side of things. It has went over towards Massive. They have not necessarily been as clear-cut as you would think. Everything around has been hard fought for. Just keep an eye on Tweak as time does go on, because there's a good play from them so far. Still trying to make this push. Still about a 40-point difference, but here comes the flank, and that is going to be an easy cleanup for KRIMCEZ, and that is 60 points available here. And that is something that, if Massive pick it all up, they will take the lead for what feels like the first time in this game. And Thomas staying alive inside of blue. Are they making the push here? Is that the play?
I think so. Banged has been able to sneak through on the right. Oh no, sorry. Power was on the right, but he's been taken down. No, this could be a very difficult. This is probably the last push actually from Tweak, because the next hill is what many describe as a money hill. It's the opposite Talon, and it's very easy to set up on. And Massive haven't started moving out just yet. They've spread out a little bit, but still holding on to these hills. This last hill, rather. Power will find one. Now, Pains is still contesting. The question is, do you try and hold on to it, or do you try and set up for the next? I think, honestly, just go at this point. Yeah, there we go. Saitama's going to be taken down. Clear as day now, where every team will be looking for. Either the power weapon pickups or the next hill. Unfortunately, Zenji will go down to the center as he was caught off guard. That's not going to help Tweak whatsoever, as it gives that access to Massive into this push. Bang will find bounces, though, leveling out numbers a little bit, but they've not been able to get spawn control, Chris, and as a result, Massive have the angle over there, and Tweak are trapped on this hill.
It's an interesting push that's going to have to come through from Massive, though. As mentioned, they are sort of stuck in, but Tweak are really going to have to fight their way out as best they can. Banged can find only one. The Massive have been slowly clawing their way back into this game, and there is the lead for the first time outside of the first hill. Very well played from Tweak up until this point, but Massive just seem to be getting into their stride a little bit when it comes to control. Can they start pulling away themselves, though?
Pain's been taken down. A lot of the top teams love to spread out like very far into the center of the map to try and get kills and stagger players, but does leave the risk open of a push. Thankfully, KRIMCEZ, though, is going to get a double with that talk bow. Very well played. Bang storms through the center. Power has to just stay alive, wait for his teammate to come around, and he does. Massive Pains now trying to get into the fight. 1v2 for him. Power will win that. 20 seconds on the clock. The next hill will be back to the center, Chris, and so Tweak have actually rotated around to set up for it. Meanwhile, Massive are looking for that short spawn for the next hill. Of course, that is the bandstand area. That's where you want to spawn ideally when this hill does pop up. But look how close the score is. Within 6 points difference after just 2/3 of the way through. And it's neck and neck between these two teams.
Very, very close game. In one of the closer games of Control we've seen, outside of that grand finals between Phantom C and X's, that seems like a few weeks ago now. Bouncers are going to bait Zenji in for that one. Is that now going to help Massive lock some time in here? This is going to fall. Tweak are going to be the ones locking the time in. If anything, KRIMCEZ's just contesting. As all the rest of Massive who are still left alive, but Saitama lightening it up and Bouncers will fall. KRIMCEZ will likely follow, and there you go. Tweak's opportunity now to get back into the lead.
Gorgeous play from Saitama there. Shock and fights just seem to be working out for Tweak, honestly. Yes, the Massive are doing well themselves, but Tweak are just performing so well. Creating so much chaos on the map for Massive to deal with. Power will find another. Bounces will be taken down, as will his Italian duo Pains. And this is a big hill, of course, Chris. This center hill. Time and time again, it's been Massive that gained the advantage by getting a lot of points in the very chaotic center hill. But this time it's Tweak that's gained the advantage here. Zenji with the double. As kills are continued to be traded out. 15 seconds on the clock. The rotation will now start for the next hill for both teams. That is green side. Tweak have the spawn. They have the setup. Short spawn is locked. They've accounted for the nade side of the map. They're just checking. Meanwhile, Massive trying to push on through, right through the front. And it seems to be working out for them. Para, very good job just to get one kill on his way out.
Yeah, the problem is here is that KRIMCEZ has a fully locked and loaded talk ball. They'll defend with, Zenji, see you later. There's one. Saitama, dangerous run across, but gets across nonetheless. It's a hard push for Tweak now. They've lost it. KRIMCEZ's getting aggressive. Not too bothered that he does. Oh, this is just a talk ball. It's crying out for a talk ball. Back on down, just trying to survive. The push comes through, though. Para deals with them very, very quickly. So talk ball off the map. Look at the score, though. 240 to 240. Massive will get the break. And they will get 4 down. Saitama's done well to find 1 down himself. That should be recovered, or is it going to be? Para pushes forward, deals with the other, and we somehow survived this one. The push forward going to start coming in once again.
This hill is huge.
Zenji. Yeah, this is massive. 30 seconds to go.
Zenji does find one. The push has worked out finally for Tweak because they've got the short spawn through. And they're starting to get points back, as it looks like we'll be pretty much level on score again as we go into the next one. Tweak even rotating early. Massive getting out slain. They're staggered. 2 players only just coming off respawn. Giving Tweak the race straight to the next hill. The angles are set up from green. Trapped under Fountains, Pains, and Crimson's try and find their way across. Thanks to the mitigation TB. No, you can chain revive through this a little bit easier than you could before. And they're going to have to fight through the door, and I think they've been able to do that somehow, some way as well. Saitama with the torp bow.
Oh, very red. Very red. Oh, and he's dead as well. That could have been the tool to get them back into this one. Tweak's still in the lead, though, but they forced their way through the front door. They had to concentrate on Saitama towards the back. And there is the talk ball that has been retrieved. Banged. Gonna find one at the KRIMCEZ, and that's all it took to get it broken down. But there we go, straight through the front door is crazed. This is such a close game. Saitama now just trying to defend Cinema's side. Massive trying to make the push from here. We can see from the back spawn that Tweak are trying to make this push through. Banged in the middle, and nowhere. You're going absolutely nowhere, son. He falls down. Para trying to get these back spawns locked in. 47 seconds to play with. Both teams can still win it here.
It's close. It comes down to this one hill for either team. It surely does. Para has the hill side, or the spawn side, locked in. They've got the access. They just need to get through. 1 kill down. They need to find another. But no, the frags will come on through. And surely that locks it into place. 297. Just about massive will come through on this map by only a 27-point difference in the end. 16 minutes almost that map, Chris. What a fantastic game that was. And a best of 5 series.
My goodness, man, that was a very, very good game of Control. And, you know, I'd argue that a lot of people look at that one and it seemed well controlled. It didn't, I personally didn't see any of these banned spawns. You know, a lot of it made sense. I feel as if, you know, you slow the game down, even from a personal perspective, and you can see where the pieces are starting to fit together. So, you know, it does make a lot of sense to me as to why this game mode is liked, especially in the South American region. You know, obviously we don't just run it over here in Europe. Over in SA, we didn't take Control out of the best out there because those guys prefer it over execution, actually. So, you know, I think it's just down to the practice. That was very, very entertaining. Nonetheless, though, Massive will get through towards those grand finals where they'll be playing up against Hydra and the boys, Tam, Jonny, whatever you want to call them at this point. There's plenty of different names on the table. Nonetheless, we will go for a very quick break, and after it, we'll have the grand finals of the Open Series Split number 3, week number 5 coming up. See you then. Ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to the Open Series Split 3, week number 5. My name is Tone, joined by Toby Campbell. We got a grand final to get into, and getting into it quickly is what we are doing. We do have our Team Phantom skin to throw at you guys pretty much immediately. It is going to be the Claw this week, Team Phantom Claw, up for grabs there. I always remember the Claw being a laugh when I was jumping into Publix at the beginning of the game, and it's still, I can imagine, very, very powerful. But Toby, there you go, another one free for you. And I know you like to get the skins and get a hold of them each and every week, so make sure you do complete your quest, Toby. But not when you're casting, though. I wouldn't like your attention to be anywhere else.
Of course not, mate. I've already done it. I've already got the setup for it. I've got my second monitor here, I've got my third monitor to my left, and every tab is open to go and ready to go. So yeah, I might have had a little, inkling as to when it might have been, I guess. But excited to get into this one though, Chris. Really good grand final. I think it's safe to say that Massive are probably quite warmed up now. Maybe not so much on the other side. It comes back to that debate. Would you rather be a team that's played loads of games in a row, or would you rather be the team that's had a little bit of rest and recovery? Guess we're about to find out for both these two teams.
Yeah, I'm just looking through the maps as well. We're going to be going Training Ground Escalation, Checkout Execution, Nexus Control, Vasgar Escalation if we need it, and Gridlock Execution as well if we need it. Will we need it? That's the question. Can this be a competitive grand final? We have had a couple of relatively close ones, but none that have really went to the wire. Is it the time for that to start happening? Jonny Walker and Coke against Massive KRIMCEZ. I mean, the names this week have been questionable, but it's going to be Massive against, well, what will we call them? I mean, we should probably try and get a name locked down, but it's a pretty good start for Massive nonetheless against Jonny Walker.
Yeah, I think Walker's fine. Massive versus Walker.
We'll go Walker, yeah.
That does work. Oh, look at this for a start. Really good for Massive. They aren't messing around on TG. They just had a really good warm-up on this map. And honestly, TG Esker seems to be the start of every best of 5 almost that we've had. I'm looking back at my notes for week number 3, in fact, when these two teams last played in the grand final. Access at the time played against TamTam at the time. And Access lost by 1 round, if you remember. TamTam won it 5-4. So I'm curious whether this can happen again. As we go into when we go into the second map, of course, Execution. It was 6-5 last time. Check out XC to XS. So they won that really pivotal round there in the end. Very interesting stuff. Curious to see if Walker can bring the fight now to the grand in this grand final.
Ends with a late flash over though. Is he going to force anything out of this? Not looking likely. Flaps is going to force them away. Of course, right hand. Jonny Walker, if they can try and make this push happen, but Payne's just going to have to go to the revive chain with Crimson's as they kind of being pinned in here a little bit. Shot's going to come in though, Payne's will deal with 1. And the second, very swiftly, follows in the same direction. Cougars, is he going to get dealt with? Yes, he is. Very, very nice shotgun in from the side of Massive. Just handled their distance well. Kept the team fight in the right direction. Dragon's making his way over towards B. Is he going to be able to get there? Possibly now, because A has now been contested. Bouncers deals with him though. The domination ticking through, and Massive are making light work of this one. 2-0 now.
Yes, they are, and this comes back to what we were saying earlier, right? The team of Tweak were just giving a much more difficult game of TG for Massive than we typically see, and this is much more like it for Massive, with just running through teams on initials, and Walker really have to turn this around as soon as possible. Otherwise, this grand final could quickly just be pulled from out under the rug for these sides, and they really need to get into gear, I think.
Yep, and sharpish. That was a very, very quick couple of rounds that have come through, and it's really just resulted from the initials over towards you. Which this time around, Walker will just back on down front. They went for B control, and we'll look to maybe overextend over towards A. Who gives this yet? Also has a little bit of support coming through from the middle, and that will be from Hydron also. You guys having to back on down, just trying to play his life as best as he can as a firefight erupts in and around you. Oh, you're going to hit a shot and the bounces there, though. He's going to deal with them, and on the other side of things, Crimson's a court lookout as well. It's just a race over towards B, and as if the rest of the team can keep them off C. Bouncers will get a hold of this, but are they going to give this one up? Dragon's now pushing to try and get there in time. He should be able to get a touch. Not quite. And that is another dominating round coming through in around a minute. And we are flying through this escalation so far.
Absolutely relentless right now. Are massive. And, you know, that bounces 1v against Cougars in the spawn was just a testament to that. It really just embodied what we're seeing right now from Massive. Bounces just flying at Cougars on right hand, continuously just running around in the circle to find him before finally taking him down. You know, you mentioned the drop shot earlier. This is the response you like to see. Finally, when you lose very convincingly in the first 2 or 3 rounds, consider a complete strat change up to really morph the map into something that might give you an opportunity to get into this game. Drop shot underneath, right at the frag grenade location. Let's see if things can turn around now for them.
It's moving forward. Slaps is just going to be dealt with. This is just too easy. Massive are coming at this. Warmed up, feeling good. Don't know if Jonny Walker and Cook have been, well, having Jonny Walkers and Cooks at this point because they are being absolutely manhandled across the map. Dragons is able to get an overextension through, though. That will probably be short-lived, though, as he's now going to get pushed. It's a nice end and send over towards KRIMCEZ. In fairness, he will be back down. Dragons falls, and now KRIMCEZ and Cook can formulate a plan to get a hold of A.
Lovely shot from Bouncers. There's the drop shot finally being used by KRIMCEZ. He finds one over the top. 2 players down. Not looking to pressure for the triple cap at this moment in time. They are aware of the players' locations, though. You can see KRIMCEZ as an angle on, I believe, Cougars in the center. As he goes back up top, Slaps will rejoin him there. Still time in this game yet for Walker to get back into this points-wise. But still, one drop shot is being held by KRIMCEZ over at the top tower. And you can easily defend the B-hill from here.
Dragons might be dead. Oh, sends it low. Nicely done. As soon as he got tagged, I did worry for his safety. KRIMCEZ is going to be back down by the flash, though. B now in control of Walker and Cole. Can they continue to lock this one in? I wonder if I'll get used to saying that team name throughout the rest of this series. We'll find out shortly, nonetheless. Massive are going to get control of B. Haynes deals with the overextension that came through from Cougars, and now it's a push over towards A, potentially here for Massive, although they can't just lock this in. The win condition is only around 35 seconds. We know that drop shot, sorry, will be coming up very, very shortly. KRIMCEZ ready and waiting for that, and I think they'll choose just to defend with it.
Yeah, they've got such a points cushion now. At this point, they might as well guarantee that they see the round out. Take away the tool of the drop shot from the opposition to try and find a triple cap, as they, of course, desperately need it. In fact, get a drop shot of your own. Try and help it out, but instead, no, the second drop shot won't be fired. Slaps going off, finding 1 kill. 3 members down. Krim's still down as well, actually. He's surely not going to be able to get back up. They're just timing him out at this point in time. There's the kill. He does get the actually almost cap on the B hill. There comes Dragons, another kill. This is very nervy times for Massive. 20 seconds. Bounces the last bastion on that hill. Oh, absolutely destroys Slaps in that 1v there. Forces another 1v onto his hill. Looking for that break. Bounces finds an amazing back A there. And they do still hold on to the score lead. They will win off 1. It's all thanks to Bounces clutching up on that hill. Very well played indeed. 4-0.
Absolutely huge from Bounces. And suddenly, Massive are only 1 round away from taking map number 1. We envisaged a very close grand final here, but so far it has been anything but. Massive now, as mentioned, 1 round away from closing this one out. Of course, we go over towards halftime. Disable in on the retro. Not sure on that one. I mean, that influential, do you think, Tilby? I'm not sure.
I think it's just merely the copycat, perhaps. I'm not sure if it's worth using a disable at that point in time on a retro. I think you should just save it, but a really basic mimic, I guess, is what was intended there. Haynes is going to be taken down. Big fight for bounces, tries to push, given he was outnumbered, not going to pay off. Dragons will get the drop shot at the start now. We have life yet in Walker.
Chris is going to get his head peeled off. Kane's now going to have to try and defend. He goes down to the drop shot. This should be around for Jonny, Walker, and Colt, really, shouldn't it? E going to go over towards them as well. I don't know if Bounce is going to be able to do anything. Oh, the sneaky little devil. Oh my goodness me, that is one of the best but worst drop shots I've ever seen. And Dragons will eventually lock the round in 4-1.
Better. A lot better from Walker. And I think at this point in time, Chris, I'll be honest, they need rounds on the board. They can't go in a second map. Going 5-0 down. Honestly, I think they need another one. Another 2 would help. Last time, again, it was 5-4 that they met each other on this map in the grand final, and you know they didn't come away with a grand final win in that instance. And I don't think they'd be any better positioned if they don't get a really good hold on this game. They need to get their heads in there, Walker. We were actually talking about this earlier, that they seemed like a different team as they lost more and more maps in the grand final last time. They can't let that happen again. They have to keep their heads held high. They have to be playing amazingly. This is better from them on the initial, though. Getting downs, not getting the kills, though. They'll have to try and play for a retake if they want to keep this drop shot from causing damage.
Oh my
Cougar's
God,
pushing in.
Pains.
Not going to happen.
Oh. The movement from Pains there was absolutely ludicrous. Eventually, Crimson's will get out due to that now. Still all tied up, though. Nobody getting a hold of E. Of course, the fight over towards the drop shot was more important, but E, alongside the drop shot, will go over towards Massive.
Big shots from KRIMCEZ as well on the overlook. Massive still very much in control here on Escalation CG. Still putting in the work. Hydron on his own. Sure, the call-out's there. There's Pains to the right. Cougars is there with the incendive to be thrown. Not going to come through, though. The Boltok is causing absolute havoc for Red. And there we go. Hydron will be dropped. Score lead remains. Another shotgun fight on our screen. KRIMCEZ will be dropped as well. Dragons winning that fight over at E. It is just so tough to play against this massive squad.
Yeah, very, very difficult. Drop shot out for the first time. Cougar's just going to be touched up by that one, though. Nothing too crazy. Dragons finds 2 in the middle as well. This is not clean cut. Nice shots from Crimson's, though. Cougars has dealt with fairly handily. But Walker are going to get a hold of E here. That is going to give them the win condition. KRIMCEZ may well be in danger there. Posting himself up, but as mentioned, it's 1-win condition. They're in a good spot here. 50 seconds away. Relatively close by the time it finds its way around. Bounces. Oh, needs to hit something. Hasn't been able to hit anything. Crimson's will be able to answer back with a kill. And the slaps over towards E, though. That should change the win condition. But none of KRIMCEZ falls here. Hydron. Oh, that just about missed. Drop shot through. Who's that come from? KRIMCEZ eventually falls. Would have had the drop shot, though. Would love to have a hold of it for F right now, though, as it is going over towards the opposite side. But it seems as if we are just exchanging hands all the time here. Is that a good enough for a cog win condition off 1? It is. Massive winning off the 1 hill.
Drop shot as well for KRIMCEZ to play with, too. KRIMCEZ. Oh, my goodness. There we go. KRIMCEZ will get a second, actually. Defend the next choke point, and he does. Cougars will fall. 10 seconds to go. Pains will find one.
Oh,
great movement from Pains. The double comes on through. Stardom upon us once more from KRIMCEZ and Pains, both clutching up at the end, and they deserve this map. 5-1, the final score. Massive are coming out steaming in this grand final.
That was hellish. Towards the end there from Massive. Pains and KRIMCEZ combining so well to lock it in. That is going to be 1-0 here in this grand final. Very, very nicely done. And it was just the exchanging of hands of hills all the way through. It just seemed as if Massive were on top of that when it did come to those rotations, it was especially that decap that came in towards, I believe it was actually the E side of things from KRIMCEZ. He then rotates around with that drop shot to defend whilst it was over towards F. I mean, what a fantastic way to end that escalation. A really, really nice round out of Massive. 1-0 up now. Where are we thinking that the maps are going to come from, though, from Walker in this case? Because you would think, obviously, their best chance would be execution, possibly even control. Escalation it's one that, yes, they played it for a long, long time, but that was fairly dominant, that has to be said.
Yeah, it was really, really dominant. I think looking back again to week 3, it was close last time, 5-4, going the way of Tam Tam on TG Esker, but it was still 6-5 checkout, mind you, map number 2, and it was 6-5 to excess that time round. Maybe, just maybe, Tam Tam can just pull it together, or Walker can pull it together now and turn it the other way and win that last round and do a little bit better. They've proven they can take rounds off Massive on this map, but when Massive are playing this well, when Krim is going off, when KRIMCEZ is going off and clearly having a great day, as we saw in his sniping earlier on Canals, and Baines is evidently as good as ever. Those checkout fights might prove extremely difficult in the Nest fights if they're all going off like they are. But again, it comes back to mentality for me. If they get deflated after that first map loss, it could cause havoc in the camp of Walker. They've got to keep their heads held high and hopefully see what they can do on checkout map number 2.
Yeah, checkout coming up. Unfortunately, we're not going to get to see 2 more Canals, which is unfortunate. Back to checkout, though, it's I don't know. It's a very standard one, and why do you think that is? I know it's fast paced, and it really does just come down to hitting each other. We'll be literally in an Nexus within the next 10 minutes. It was close last time, if I remember rightly, wasn't it? It was very, very close. Yeah. So it could go either way. Do you think it's just the fact that it comes down to those big initials, those 4v4 fights every single time, that if you're Jonny Walker and Koke, you kind of sort of say, well, it's just about winning your shotgun fights. That's all it's about.
I think checkout is a unique map and the base plays it the way it does simply because, one, it's asymmetric, but it's kind of split into 2 ways.
Yeah.
You get easier access to the middle checkout on one side and you don't on the other. You get right hand on Nest on one side and also right hand if you push through the snipe side. And you can kind of see different strategies formulate as a result of that. Sometimes teams will smoke out the back checkout and play for the snipe pickup. Mm-hmm. Of course, it's a snipe every single round in the EGL setting, so a quick pick is very plausible. You can fire the shot straight away. You don't have to charge it up with an M-boss. You can defend yourself if a Lancer is being sent your way. Likewise, you have incense every single round on Plat, aka Nest. So if you want to be aggressive up top, you can jump up straight away, look for that quick pick, and instantly throw 2 incense either in front of you to defend yourself or even over to the back checkout to get the long-range incense kills. There's lots of strategies that can be used in the checkout area. And because of that, due to that variation, you often see top teams stick to the base strat for the entirety of the map, simply because you can micromanage a few variables. You can tweak a little bit here and there. Do we push straight away through Nest? Do we push through checkout? Do we smoke something? Do we push on top of Nest? Do we go around it? Etc. etc. For me, though, as time goes on, I think we'll see more teams go for perhaps the 2 nade strats where you try to you play 2v1 onto the guy in nades, get the numbers advantage that way, get the 4-3 up and then try and take control of their spawn. Then you have the enemy team contain and check out. That's a very good strat, one that was very popular in Gears 3. And given, generally speaking, that this is a very different game to Gears 3, the Lancers aren't as powerful, the stopping power, the shotgun range isn't as extreme at the peak ranges. Strats like that are certainly possible. And I can't wait to see them employed. Hopefully they're employed today, given that we just, we saw in week number 3, both these teams were very equally matched in this map. Will either team try and take the initiative and get a leg up somewhere? Perhaps strategies, different initial strategies is the way to go for that.
Hopefully we'll be jumping into it very, very shortly. Teams seem to be taking their time, just getting this one sorted out. Been our longest broadcast so far, though, I would say. In fairness, we're rattled on for a couple of hours at least anyway. We're getting plenty of games in this evening, and I do believe we are getting into this one. Excited to see what Nexus brings as well on Control, but we do have the small issue of getting checkout out of the way first. from what we've seen in the first control game of the weekend on District, we enjoyed that one. Hopefully, we see something quite similar when it comes down to Nexus as well. Nexus is a little bit more spread out, of course, but as said, we do have Execution to jump into first. Predictions, Toby? Which way is it going? The same way as it did last time, or are we going to see a potential 2-0 lead here for Massive?
I think it'll be 2-0. I think it'll be a little bit closer than TG, but I don't think it'll be 6-5. I think Massive are on fire right now, and clearly Walker aren't playing as well as they did map one of this grand final as they did in week number 3. Hopefully they can turn that around, but still, my money would be with Massive.
Well, here we go. Massive on the Swarm side, Cog side for Jonny Walker and Coke, and of course we delve towards the checkout area immediately. Two's going to come out on top here. Utility's been used. Smoke's been placed towards the back right. Not too sure if that's going to really benefit much. Oh, Incense being picked up by Crimsons, though. Should get out with them. These are going to get langed your direction, Hydro, and I would imagine has tagged them up and he's backed them down. Look at the tags coming in there. Actually, Payne's going to be the first to fall, though. V3, and, well, Cougar's going to pay for that one with his life. The Incense used, though, so 3v3. Not much difference in terms of utility on this side.
Oh, and a nice 1v as well over at the nades area. Slaps has been able to outplay his opponent down there. He's got the frag grenades. You can see on the X-ray. In fact, he's found the kill on bounces as well as he's tried to chase him down. 3v2. Right now, Jonny Walker have the advantage in numbers. They've been winning the fight at checkout and also won the fight at nades. Hydron will hold his own with right hand. 3v1 now. KRIMCEZ in a lot of trouble. Dragons will stand back and make sure this round goes through. Jonny Walker, very good from them. You saw Massive took the initiative with Crimsons trying to push up and get the incense. He did successfully, but boy did Jonny Walker respond well to losing that advantage. 1-0 to them.
Nicely done. To the next round, though. See if anything does change up. This time around, it is Massive with the right-hand side advantage. The flash out to stop the aggressive push starting to come through. Shot's going to go in. No, Pains was very, very weak. Can they get anything going here? Just about. Get rid of Pains. They'll get rid of KRIMCEZ. And now Crimsons is all alone here. If we can find even anything, that will be a miracle. This is going to be another round over towards Jonny Walker. Cold. Nicely done. Win the fights from the rip, and that's 2-0.
Yeah, again, Cougars that time was actually the man on the mission. It seemed like, honestly, Jonny Walker were all on the same page. Find the down over at Nest. Everyone focus your shots there, including the Lancer from the checkout area, all aim in that direction. And Cougars was the man hitting down the majority of the damage with the shotgun, shooting, the core damage at that 2-shot range, rolling back to ensure he keeps his life in the process. And it all unraveled from there. Look at this for a change of strat a little bit. Smoke straight on the Nest. Instant pickup of the incense as well. Clearly planned from Jonny Walker there, and it's paid off so well. No one has been able to follow up Massive. In fact, I say that. KRIMCEZ somehow picking up the snipe, but Cougars throwing the incense through the smoke, knowing where KRIMCEZ is going to try and escape to. And Hydron actually, unfortunately, getting burned in the process. 3v3. Now, Cougars blocked off by the fire. Can't push up just yet, but right hand is on his side. Massive trying to escape with that sniper, I believe. Yeah, Pains was able to pick it up. And now 3v3. And Massive have pulled out completely from the checkout.
Pains gives Dragons a haircut. Just about missing the head, though, in fairness. Skimmed past, maybe. 3v3, though, as mentioned. Grenades on the side of Massive. Snipe bombs on the side of Massive as well. And Pains doesn't just like to hard aim this, does he?
He's trying to just bait a head out, essentially, with all this movement. 3v3, I'm guessing the ring is just behind Cougars. They've got the nades, though, have Massive to work with. Oh, but KRIMCEZ on his own. No one's there. I don't know. Where is the third player? Where is Bounces? I wonder. Pains, KRIMCEZ's taken down. Bounces nowhere to be seen. He is in his own 1v, it seems like, on the other side of the map. And Slaps has played it well, right? He's given up the spawn side completely, but he's still on that bookcase to his right to ensure Bounces can't get anywhere near the checkout, keeping him at distance. And right now, Jonny Walker are playing the better game of Xe. Their initial strat of playing for those incense, thanks to the smokes on the Nest, have benefited them greatly. They are turning up very well in checkout.
Very nicely done so far. This will make the series very, very interesting if this goes the way that it's looking like it's going to go. Jonny Walker and Cook 3-0 now. Flashes out. Anybody about to grab any sort of advantage here? Doesn't seem so. Cougars was tagged up, goes for the up there onto Cougars, has to back on down. Dragons will find the first kill. It's first bloods over towards Jonny Walker and Coke nearly every single time. And honestly, they're just playing this significantly better. 4-0. Things are looking good to at least see a map number 4 here.
I think they're just being a little bit more unpredictable at this point in time. You know, a little bit of preparation goes a long way. They didn't throw the smokes in that time. They all had flashes ready to go at the nest. Instantly pre-throwing that, right? Getting the stun, so any push onto the nest or near to the nest, that platform area, quickly thwarted, and Jonny Walker getting the better of them from there on out. Likewise, Bounce is not having the best of time in the 1v down bottom, I don't think. He's not able to be as aggressive as usual. Slaps is keeping him at bay. Smokes are thrown to the checkout to block off vision for now. Cougar's trying to push up on right hand. Pains will get the down. It's a trade. A pinch through the center. Pains somehow tuning around, getting that double. What have I just seen? That is absolutely insane. 2v1. Slaps has to push his 1v. He has to get through before Pains gets the angle from behind. Slaps has to still work. But no, Bounces playing it smart, keeping his distance. Will put in just enough damage to keep him at bay.
1 now. Out of the question to see Massive get back into this one. Can very quickly turn around. Ring will spawn towards electronics if we do need it.
Just watching that back, that turn from Pains was absolutely obscene. Clutching up that round there for me. 4v4, speak of the devil, he tries to throw himself through the center. Through right hand on plat to find someone, not going to find a Gib there. 4v4 as the smokes do dissipate.
It's a conservative round in the grand scheme of things after what we've seen so far.
It is, yeah. It really is with the incense there, the snipe to the right. Oh my, Pain's not happy about that. Not happy about that at all. He'll get instantly downed. Crosses from all sides. KRIMCEZ does push in for one, gets the damage on Dragons. He's completely outplayed them. And KRIMCEZ just about does get the down, but he can't follow up with the kills. Hydron will stay alive and find his kill. And the 1v victory once more comes through for Slaps. Whew. KRIMCEZ almost saving the round there. That was some brilliant movement to try and clutch up in that round. So unfortunate for Pains, of course, rolling into no man's land. That just can't happen at this level. You will be punished greatly.
Yep. Pains doesn't know how to sit still, I don't think. That's the problem. Head down, move forward, see what happens. Majority of the time it results in a lot of people being dead on the other team. Eventually gets rid of Dragons. That first shot looks like it should have done a lot more damage. Eventually, though, I mean, he will completely get exploded by Hydron. Now fights across the board going over towards Massive, though. And it's going to be another round towards them. 5-2, but they still need 4 in a row to take a 2-0 lead here.
Yeah, Bounces that time winning his 1v against Slaps too. Turning around a little bit. Still curious if we'll see any drastic strat changes so far. We've seen everything change up in the checkout for both teams. A really large variety of strats being incorporated just by the 3v3 at the checkout, but nothing on the other end of the map. Once again, KRIMCEZ will jump up this time around though, and they do have the damage advantage. Dragons will come to the rescue as they trade out downs. Pains will get dropped on the nest. Everyone regrouping on the nest as they try and clean up those downs. 2v2.
Oh my
oh my goodness, KRIMCEZ, another kill coming on through. 2v1. KRIMCEZ will be the victor. He is going off in this checkout. His Gears 3 experience is showing. We have a game building ahead of us.
Huge players from KRIMCEZ there. Finds 3 very, very quickly. Ring will spawn towards checkout if we need it. Another round, and I think Jonny Walker and Coke will start getting a little bit concerned. Right-hand side advantage, though, for them heading over towards checkout. Flash out from Cougars. Big smoke going to go out as well, as KRIMCEZ going to think about it. No, he's closed off from the wide angle. KRIMCEZ pushes forward and just gets aggressive as well. Surely somebody's going to deal with him, but KRIMCEZ hasn't hit his shots either. Eventually he's going to down KRIMCEZ. Can Pins do anything to hold this off? KRIMCEZ drops as well. Was where the fight's going to go. They're going to go towards Massive. It's a 1v4 for Slaps, and it's going to be 5-4. Unless Slaps can really pull... Well, yeah, that's not going to happen. Nonetheless, 5-4. Oh my.
3 rounds in a row now for Massive. They're turning this around quickly, aren't they? Look at KRIMCEZ, 10 downs that. And now the ring will move over to Tech. You know, if you want to change things up, now is the time to do it.
Yep. I think if you're Jonny Walker and Coke, do you maybe try a different strat here?
Oh, here they are. 4 checkout, actually.
Yeah,
they're leaving nades
checkout.
completely. They're bringing in Slaps. I think they've called the numbers, though. You can see him through the center. Massive is sitting all the way back.
And
Oh, not going to connect. Snipe picked up for Cougars, but it's 4v3 nonetheless, and they are trapped inside checkout. Cougars needs to find something. Oh, bounces in his own, though. Is that a potential push for these players? Yep, they're looking for it. Check onto bounces. Hydron chasing him down. That's their best opportunity.
number 6.
Oh my goodness.
Look at it from behind. The pin in the minute was electronics. Third time's the charm. Is where the ring is spawning. So bear that in mind as we get into a little bit of a stalemate here. KRIMCEZ, is he trying to be a sneaky little beaver? I'm not sure he's had the Cougars. He's maybe going to get caught out here, actually. This is nice from Jonny Walker and Coke. Flash going to come in. KRIMCEZ, oh, not in the best of spots. He does, and well, he's going to get out, but only via the respawn queue. 3v3 now. Oh, that was a great shot by Cougars. Doesn't actually result in anything. Slaps had fallen. They get him back up 3v3, Toby. Tense one so far.
This is a stunning round so far. Both teams rotating back and forth, knowing the hill is at electronics, but the numbers advantage is about to go in the favor of Jonny Walker. Cougars is going off a second as well. My goodness me. Making a third. That to win the map. What more can you say?
Jesus, that was ridiculous from Cougars.
That is probably the best clip we have seen so far in Split 3. Maybe even every single split so far that we've seen. To just finish off an incredible map with a triple headshot like that. Unbelievable. And who else was it? It was Cougars, who of course suffered in that snipe click before, all the way back on checkout. And that seemingly hasn't phased him back then. My goodness me. That is actually unreal. Find me a better snipe clip in execution comp so far. You will not find one. I promise you, you will not find a better one than that. That is absolutely insane.
And just to point that out, in fairness, you know, Rowdy's mentioned it. No aim assist on that one either as well. My God. Oh, wow. Fair play, the Cougars. You love to see that. And we are going to see at least 4 maps in this grand final. We're going to be heading over towards Control in a second. But to be fair, you know, real big props to Massive. They brought that one back. It was getting very, very close. But especially from the side of Jonny Walker, that they are bleeding rounds after being so far in the lead. And for Cougars to get the big stick out and do that to the other team, it shows a lot of composure. Very, very well played by Jonny Walker and Coke. And we have a series on our hands. 1 apiece now between these two. Thanks to a moment of magic from Cougars. Imagine he does that in round number, 13 to close things out. Or would it be? No, it would be round number 11. Anyway, that's just hard. Nonetheless, very, very good performance from Jonny Walker and Coke. And they were pretty dominant across the board. And it has to be said, that round of execution was much more methodical. It was much more thought out. You know, it can very much be the case where it is just headbutt each other in the middle of the map and see who comes out on top. But that one was that case. And because there was a different strat and player, the game did slow down. Obviously, with that 4-man hit from Jonny Walker and Coke, it allowed the grenades on the other side of things to be completely free from Massive, but they didn't take the advantage that they were given in that scenario, Toby.
Yeah, for sure. I think checkout there is perhaps the most quote-unquote advanced form of checkout we've seen so far. time and time again, as more and more teams play on this map, these two teams in particular, as they go head to head, you can see more strats are thrown in, right? We just saw it was one round where 3 smokes were thrown at an S and a quick pick of Incens. Likewise, we've seen the quick snipe picks, the Incen kills have come through, and that last round there, checkout, is really a great selling point perhaps of first to 6, because we might not have seen that if the Dominos didn't fall the way they did. Teams both rotating back and forth, inside checkout, outside of checkout. The hill, of course, in electronics, one team had snipe, but they were at a numbers disadvantage. And both teams were playing a tug of war almost to try and, 1, maintain map control, 2, try and position for the hill, which, by the way, Massive did a better job of. They had the numbers, they were able to avoid the sniper sightlines to beat them there, and then, of course, weren't able to hold on checkout following because the reaction was just so good, ultimately leading to that amazing clip from Cougars. Incredible stuff. Really enjoyable map, that map on checkout. And honestly, to a lot of new fans of XE, and perhaps they were a new fan of Gears Esports in general, this might be their first foray into execution spectating and not played it much themselves if they used to escalations in Gears 4. That checkout might look like a chaotic flurry of kills with no structure, but hopefully it's a bit more apparent now how much strats and reactions and communication and teamwork really goes into that tiny area at checkout. And also, while all that was going on, there was this own mini war elsewhere between the two 1v1 players, bounces and slaps, that was going back and forth for those all important frag grenades and map control in that area. So what more can you say? I think, again, execution looking as good as ever. Check out as well, and I'm excited for Nexus.
Yeah, we'll be heading into Nexus very, very shortly. I think the conversation that's going on in the chat about auto aim, etc. I think irrelevant of hitboxes, etc., we can all still appreciate that was really well played from the side of Cougars. But I mean, nonetheless, what a clip that's going to be, and makes my life easier for players of the week coming later in the week. It has to be said. We'll be heading to Nexus in just a second. Hopefully, we'll be loading in momentarily. But where does your loyalties lie now in this one, Toby? Because, I mean, look, it has to be said that Massive have looked good on the game mode in particular. But on District specifically, in the previous matchup against 1A, it wasn't necessarily plain sailing. I know Nexus is a very different map, much bigger, more so about those rotations that can be a little bit more punishing, you would say. Does it make you change your mind a little bit here, or are we still feeling that Massive should walk away with this one?
I think Massive still have the leg up. I was surprised, actually, that they were able to get 3 rounds in a row on checkout when they were 1 round away from losing the map. I thought they played really, really well, and it was a testament to their knowledge of the game and the teamwork and the skill they had. Payne started performing really well on the middle checkout, for example, and had some plays and clips of his own. But I think as time goes on, perhaps now from this point onwards, this team in Jonny Walker will get back into their usual ways. The consistency will be there after an incredible clip from Cougars, which I'm sure sent the party chat or Discord chat for those guys into absolute crazy scenes, just like we had in our chat. That will get them hyped up alone as we go into Nexus. And they were playing the team fights well, weren't they, in that tiny area of checkout? Yep. Perhaps that will lead very well into the battles that we have of control on Nexus. Well, into control Nexus we go, and let's see which team is going to be better equipped heading into this mode. Massive obviously have looked good on it. And specifically on this map as well, we've seen them have a very, very close game between themselves and Phantom T. And then things initially did kick off. I think it was week number 2, actually. But then last week, they absolutely blew them out of the water. Sorry, Death Dancer in the chat to remind you of that one. But nonetheless, it's a good start for Jonny Walker and Cook. They will get a hold. The power weapon there, of course, Talkboat now going to be available. Have the hills changed? The center hill is always the first one at this point in esports variant, of course. So it'll always be this.
For some reason, I thought, oh my god, I'm saying that pains. I thought it was further towards the other side, where KRIMCEZ is now. Never mind. Nope. No, I think that's ever been the case. Oh, he said again. Sometimes that variety can happen. It's just Cougars good going off. Cougars is still hitting shots with the marksman weapons, if you will.
And it is good for Jonny Walker. Again, they're getting that center hill, the most difficult one to hold on to. They're getting loads of points. Pains will find Cougars finally, thanks to a Seeker Man just to the left. Another one will come on through as they'll get the scrap points, if you will, on the center hill and look to rotate to the next hill. The question is, Chris, has the esports variant order stayed the same? So far on District, when we casted earlier, yes, it stayed the same. And this has been the correct order for Nexus so far, these first two hills. So everything is predictable and working as normal from what I can tell.
Sorry, I just caught me off guard. I thought it was over towards the other side where the fountains were. Never mind. Completely threw off the cast for the initial. But anyway, Jonny Walker and Cook looking good so far, but crazed. The wraparound nicely done. Mades across the board here for Massive as well. Should be able to lock this one in. Just coming in from Jonny Walker and Coke though.
Short spawn.
Dragons, yeah, not far away, are they?
Oh, Payne's gonna nade crazed in the process. I think. No? Did he actually? I think he might have thrown a flashbang on crazed nade. I'm assuming from that kill feed. That's confusing, but nonetheless. 3v3 as it stands again. Short spawn now coming through for Massive. So Jonny Walker on a timer here for this push before they do get pinched. Hopefully they get some support though through the side. And they do actually. Slaps will find Pains. Hydron has the angle on the left. The race to up top will surely ensue if they are to try and hold on to it. Yep, they do. In fact, they look to the next hill. Of course, it's always across diagonal to the other end of the map. Pains is aware as a player of that. Taking his time. KRIMCEZ is to the left. Short spawn for this will be in the favor of Jonny Walker. And they do have the numbers, but the angles are not in their favor. Dragons will get lit up once more. The pinch starts coming on through perfectly for Massive. Make that first. Cougar still alive, though, and he will find Pains. 2 members down for Massive. Short spawn for Jonny Walker. This is their time to push.
The next spawn, by the looks of things, they weren't too far away. Look at the flank from Massive as well. Bouncers will hold this, and that is 4 dead. All 3, sorry, I should say. Hydron is able to answer back with 1, and Pains is going to fall to Hydron as well, but should be able to get picked up. Hydron will fall. A lot of time going over towards Massive here. It's a hard one to break, it feels, Toby. Very, very hard.
Yeah, it is. It is actually Massive. They got the short spawn previously. But we're moving on over to the next hill very shortly. In 30 seconds, actually. So still a healthy amount of points to gain here that Jonny Walker want to contest for. Torpbo being used as well. KRIMCEZ just about catching Hydron. Big down. Cougars and KRIMCEZ battling for the 20 seconds. A little bit of support fire now. Slapped is here. Another one to his left. The battle does continue for this hill. Craze taken down in the process. Lovely collapse from Jonny Walker. Next hill, exactly where Pains is standing. As he starts to spread out a little bit and set up on this side. He's going to just collapse as well on Hydron, finding him. As hit kills are traded over for the next hill.
Very tight scoreline though. Massive with a slight lead after really locking that down for a solid amount of time, but back over towards the middle. This is the fountain one, you see.
Yeah.
Got myself mixed up, wasn't I, Toby? Massive seem to be the ones winning the fight out where they need to on both sides of the map. Nicely done. Now lock this one in, and that's a good chunk of time ready and waiting for them. No
timing out as well.
Yeah.
Cougar's got timed out, only just getting taken down.
Is there not a suicide option now?
Yeah, there is a suicide option, and they're definitely on the esports variant right now, so I'm confused as to why he didn't suicide. Perhaps they haven't scrimmed yet on Control esports variant. I'm not sure what else to tell you. It's on your screen, and confusing why he wouldn't just suicide at that point when the rest of his teammate has been taken down. All there is to say, I guess. One player. Dragons will find one. Pains will trade out, though. Torpbo picked up for KRIMCEZ's. Headshot comes through as they fight back their way to the 20-second mark in front of them over on the hill. 4 shots left in that Torpbo for KRIMCEZ to work with, and they've just called it. They want to get over to the next hill. The opposite hand burst. Rotating around. One player is hiding there, and they are aware. Cougars is waiting for them.
Walker trying to prepare this defense. So Cougar's going to drop. And here it comes once again. It just feels as if Massive are starting to step it up a little bit. Oh, Pain's taking a lot of bullets though.
Great save.
Answer back. Yeah, they've just kept him alive. 50-point difference though. Plenty of time left yet.
Short spawn in the hands of Jonny Walker as it stands. Cougars finds one, bounces, trades out another. KRIMCEZ wants to get out, make sure he stays alive with that torque bow. As Jonny Walker will get the numbers back to full strength. Frag grenades picked up en route to make the play for the 40-second hell. Here we go. Thrown in, utility thrown in as well. Cougars will find one. Torque bow not going to do too much damage. Bounces will be taken down. That's an excellent push from Jonny Walker. Everyone is involved there. KRIMCEZ will get taken down as well, just about finding the kill in the end on Cougars, but the reward of Torque Bow goes to Dragons, and perhaps they'll start looking towards the next hill, which is the opposite side. Nades again, think about diagonal across the map. That is exactly where Massive are looking to set up on.
50-point or so lead here. Cougars looking to try and make this push, and there could be a pinch developing here for Jonny Walker and Coke. They've got a couple of different angles. They need to get rid of that one player who's sitting in the middle. I do believe that's Bounces. Ends is going to fall. If this fight goes in whichever direction, it could be influential. Now Bounces should be able to help his teammates out, who have indeed fallen towards the point. KRIMCEZ's there fighting the front, but KRIMCEZ is going to drop, as is KRIMCEZ. So this should be a good chunk of time now for Jonny Walker and Coke. They knock this one in. Lock this one in, lock this one in, either or. They've got control of the point, and they're finding the kills as well. It should be tight heading over towards the next hill.
Excellent job so far, honestly, from Jonny. They didn't have the quickest rotation, right? Massive were there first, but Cougars was already causing havoc at the top of the staircase, timing out a player while waiting for his teammates to get there. And now they are the ones that are set up and closing in on the score of Massive. Short spawn already being contested by both teams. KRIMCEZ is there, finds one, meat shield in front, but he is full red. Fighting his way. Back A not going to come through, but it does for KRIMCEZ. Important fight there for the last 29 seconds on this hill. He'll regroup with Pains. Now they can look to start perhaps pushing onto the hill.
See.
Amazing.
Yeah, nicely done by Pains once again. I think it just doesn't even become questionable anymore, does it? It's just like, yeah, you know that nice kill that just happened? Pains things. Yeah, Cougars has had a lot of luck with multiple different power weapons throughout this whole entire series. Throughout his Gears career, in fairness. Oh, look at that.
Yeah.
Shots onto KRIMCEZ, of course, are solid. Pains is he the next to follow? Not quite. Just about got out of the way of that one. Oh, which way do you go? Cougars probably try and survive just to help his team get back into this one a little bit easier. And as I said, his accuracy has been so good, I don't think he hit his shot. So I apologize for cursing you, Cougars. Nonetheless, Massive in control of the midpoint and a lot of kills going in their direction.
Another big hill, right? Jonny Walker got the majority of the points the last time we were at this center hill, which can be a very big difference maker on a point-for-point basis, but this time it's Massive, getting back to their usual ways of being able to lock down the center hill and really assert map dominance everywhere. Where short spawns become less of an issue, and it's more about just taking cover from all the potential angles players can get off spawn. Here we go. 30 seconds left now as the teams do contest for the hill. Bounces trying to flank round. Lancers in the back. Frag grenade thrown in by KRIMCEZ. Perhaps might be the difference maker as KRIMCEZ finds one. Absolutely stunning.
Yeah, very, very patient with his shots. So he's going to fall for it, though. Hydron there, ready and waiting. This transition over towards the next hill is important. 10 seconds or so remaining on the previous. It's going to put Massive within about 50 themselves. If Jonny Walker and Co can lock this one in, they'll be within touch and distance if they can hold the whole thing. Pains is going to drop KRIMCEZ, his own teammate, who is then they're going to fall. KRIMCEZ, though, that's a difficulty to deal with, isn't it? But these grenades coming in from slaps are solid. Just about Jonny Walker and Co in control, but the short spawn coming in here for Massive. Can they deal with them up close and personal now? Pains Gonna drop, and oh, Dragon's now pushing forward. The short spawn's still there for Massive. And it might actually benefit Jonny Walker and Coke as they can just press the issue. Which way is this fight gonna go, though? Bounce is just about surviving. Crimson's gonna fall from behind, though. Bounces needs to survive as best as he possibly can, and he's gonna fall. Jonny Walker and Coke sacrificed a bit of time there just to force that spawn out. You can see that maybe Massive are giving up the ghost on this one momentarily, or at least slowing down this push. Still 30 seconds to play for, though. This puts us within touching distance now.
Stunning spectacle from both teams here. Timing outs are starting to come through. All the fights start to move over to the short spawns or map control, like in the top spawn.
Oh, that's big.
The setups are getting really, really good, aren't they? Jonny Walker just sat back on the covers to make sure no push is possible.
Winning the fights 3v4 momentarily. KRIMCEZ and KRIMCEZ's both going to fall. So they win the fight. They get the scrap time as well. They get a hold of the Talkbow. And now it's a race over. Pains is the only one here. Talkbow and Cougars, though, you don't want to see him fall. Pains, you'll be looking for him. Yep, gets rid. It's no longer an issue. The kills are going to go in Jonny Walker and Coke's favor, though. It looks like they're on the right side of the ring at least. Oh, grenades there. Slaps. Will find Bounces. He was unlucky not to find KRIMCEZ as well, but inside the hill and about to take the lead is Jonny Walker and Coke. They're trying to lock this one in. Massive now trying to make this push. They are going to get inside the hill now. KRIMCEZ just trying to hold it down with the back as the pinch is starting to develop from the other side of things as well, but we change over to Crimson's. KRIMCEZ, everybody falling from the side of Massive, but KRIMCEZ once again just comes up clutch when he needs to and finds two huge kills. Now, where the spawn's coming in, there's still two people here from Jonny Walker and Coke that got the short spawn momentarily. The rest of the team coming in off the respawn on the other side of things. Pain's going to fall. Can he get anything off the respawn? No, not quite. Crimson's, though, is going to be able to clutch up. This is good time for Massive. And locking it in here. They can just about win here as well, Toby. The contest is here from Dragons. He will fall, though. Massive can still win it on this hill. If you're Jonny Walker and Coke, you need to contest this in some shape or form.
Yeah, they're on a timer now. They have to push on through. They're going through the short spawn. They're turtling on Massive, pulling every player back. One player just left to the staircase. In fact, Massive Pains will join him. But 5 seconds, they need to stand in the hill and contest for long enough. Maybe, just maybe, they can keep themselves in this.
Contested. Is it long enough? 4 seconds. Somebody inside there now. Dragons isn't going to be able to stop it in time. And Massive will take a closely contested Nexus control. Jonny Walker and Coke had their opportunities there, but it's that final rotation. It's those big kills that come in from the match MVP KRIMCEZ and gives Massive the lead once again. Heading into an escalation, you definitely fancy them in this grand final now.
KRIMCEZ finishing off with 40 limbs. Don't see that often on Control, in comp at least, do you? And it really goes to show how good he is playing today. KRIMCEZ he's been getting better every single week, I think, Chris. You know, yeah. It goes to show once you're in a solid team, you're playing every single week, you're practicing back to your usual standard. Players like KRIMCEZ will just continue to get better and better, and I expect to see more of that from, say, Hydron, for example. We mentioned Marsh earlier, of course. Hydron's replaced him essentially in what was the former highly rated team. I expect Hydron to improve over time as well as he gets into the swing of things. Clearly, Jonny Walker having their moments and performing quite nicely themselves. Question is, though, we're back to escalation, aren't we? We played TG earlier. We're playing Vazgar again. Vazgar is the go-to pick, I think, for Massive at this point in time. It's their favorite escalation map. They've just had a close win, a strong win, but a close win on Nexus with a 50-point difference. You're going to have to be favoring them on Vazgar. For Jonny Walker's case, they really need to start off strong on this map, just as they did in map number 2, and honestly on Nexus as well.
Well, there you go. That's going to be it for that control map specifically. As mentioned, Vazgar has really been kind of on the side of Massive, as you said. It's going to take something really there for this to get turned around, you would think, wouldn't you? Especially on this map specifically. We will see a gridlock if we do need it, which would be quite the way to finish things up here. I don't think we're going to see it, though. I'll be honest. I really don't. I think this goes the way of Massive. I'd be surprised if it does not. But yeah, fantastic stuff from the side of Massive. They will lock in that map, and let's see. Stranger things have happened than this Vascar being dropped, but it is very, very much a clinical game from them when it does come to Vascar escalation. Any thoughts, Toby? Can this go the other way? I'm not too sure.
Based on the first TG, I don't think it can. Honestly, I don't want to have a repeat of what we saw last time they played against each other. The order, in fact, is near pretty much the same. They in week number 3 of the grand final, XS versus Tam. Tam won. TG was the difference maker. They lost the execution, and they lost quite convincingly, actually, the district control by around 100 points. But then they got 5-0'd, did Tam on Vasgar map 4. We're back here, map number 4, Vasgar escalation, and hopefully their heads aren't in the gutter, essentially, after what was a very hard fought Nexus, some great moments, but unfortunately just falling short. And it comes back to the discussion, right? Would you rather get absolutely smoked and kind of forget about the map, or would you just lose by a little bit and then have that like rest on your shoulders, weight on your shoulders going into the next map? It's going to be interesting to see how Jonny will deal with that.
Yeah, it is going to be difficult. It really is. But, it's an unfortunate one when it comes to that control, isn't it? If KRIMCEZ doesn't clutch up in that scenario, we're hearing there was maybe some questionable spawns, which is something that has happened in control now and then. That's some people's issues from it, I should say. Hopefully if these things do get ironed out, then maybe, the mode becomes a little bit more popular. But nonetheless, heading into this one, it is hard to see it going the opposite direction, isn't it? But we will be loading in very, very shortly, I hope. And hopefully jumping in to what could potentially be the final map of the day. I run out of talking points at this point, Toby. I think just sort of turning back, though, to what Cougars did specifically on execution was very, very well played. And I think, you look at this Johnny Walker squad, and they've absolutely got the talent to be matching up against Massive time and time again. The time in every single week will make a difference, you think, to some of these guys. And still a couple more weeks to go before we do have those finals, of course. But still, we're going to be loading into map number 4 in just a second, hopefully. We should be jumping up. I think that's Matt just told me that we are going to be we are starting, and we have jumped in. Let us know in the chat which way you think this one's going to go. I presume a lot of them will go with us, of course, in the sense of that we think this is going to go over towards Massive. But let us know. 549. There was over 600 in here beforehand. I know plenty of you here for the skins, but nice of you to stick it around and join us for the ride, of course. This could be the last map of the week. But really, we want to see Gridlock, though, don't we? We want to see Gridlock to close this one out. We've seen a really good execution between these two. So let's get behind the side of Johnny Walker and Coke to force this map number 5. Can they do it, though, on Vasgar? It's been really clinical from Massive time and time again. Can they close it out as we expect them to? Or are we going to see that map number 5?
That's the question. That is the question. I hope plenty of the new viewers who are here for skins have been enjoying the different modes, right? A change of pace, perhaps, for a lot of returning fans, not just seeing escalation. Of course, we just saw Nexus Control, and speak of the devil, in fact, Dragon's on just on our screen before. He's, I believe he's first in the world on Control leaderboard since Op 7 dropped. He's been playing like an absolute maniac every single day. Has he more than pretty much anyone in the world, I think, right now? And of course, when you times a skill with time, like Dragons is, known for his individual raw skill, you have a player who is absolutely performing on the competitive level and also in rank currently. So shout out to Dragons. I'm sure the seasonal leaderboards will update on Monday and show he's still number 1.
Which way is this start going to go, though? Cougars has done well. BNC is going to be locked in by Massive. Very much one of those that can go the distance each round. Gains back down here, and Massive happy to set up.
Yeah. The tug of war for the tank control again. Continue over and over on Vasgar. Especially on this first half with the B-Hill there. Dragon's able to break the B-Hill. Payne's following up, though, with help from his teammates from afar. Great Lancers on the team of Massive right now. Great shotguns to boot also, with only Cougars left alive over towards the A hill. The points lead will continue to stack up for Massive. Bounces holding down the C side of the map also. It's time for Jonny Walker to get into the game.
Trying to get back into it. Gonna lock this in at C. What about A though? Are they going to be able to contest this well enough? Not looking that way. Massive finding the kills. They don't really have a lot to write home about here. Are they going to be able to get a hold of A? Hydron into the belly of the beast pretty much. Falls immediately. That was going to be Massive now with a 33-second win condition. The extension over towards C is there. Cougars, are we going to be able to... Well, it's definitely going to be able to deny this domination though. Over towards B. To fight over towards A, that's going to be important, but Dragons gets dropped so fast. Hydron trades it out. KRIMCEZ now can do very little about this, but one cap hold will surely do it for Massive. So, well, elongated round number 1. Going to get a hold of A now as well. That's going to just cut that win condition directly in half. Hard for Jonny Walker and Coke to do much there. Massive just really controlled the map well.
Yeah, textbook Vasgar, honestly, for Massive. It was quick rotations when they needed to be, but mostly just, holds of different areas of the map, right? Nothing too fancy. Any breaks on the hills were quickly responded to with swift action, whether that be through Lancer Fire or shotgun pushes. And Massive just rotating in the end to ensure there's no way in hell Jonny Walker can get back into this on a points basis at the very least. This is a good start for Massive. Very, very good indeed. And again, Jonny Walker with their performance on TG and how well Massive have been playing all Sunday long. They can't give away rounds, Chris. They have to just get into this game early, otherwise Massive will just win this war of attrition, I feel.
To the next round. Ostring over towards B and also over towards the stairs in between A and C. Slow start to the round. It's going to come down to this utility working out for one team and not so much the other. B-push is going to come in here from Massive though. Going to force them back. Only one player here actually. It was actually Dragons over with Hydro, and as soon as Dragons retreated to mid-map, Massive stepped forward. It's just about the fight over towards A now, which is ongoing. Dragons though just still locking B in here. Are they going to hold it? Not quite. Bounces code do well, but A now has been decapped. Slow start to the round, Tom.
Again, yeah, it's just methodical right now for Massive. No risks from them. They're just winning their shotgun fights. They're taking them as a team. No individual just flying in on his own, and it's just simple, right? It's just simple gears for Massive. They don't have to do anything too crazy and showing the utmost respect to their opponents. Even on this map, when they're looking so comfortable on the previous one.
Shots from Pins once again. Oh, not going to be able to lock this one in though. Pins is going to fall after being dropped a few too many times. Lead ever so slightly with Jonny Walker and Coke, of course. That win condition not remain the same way. It's been one of the slower rounds of escalation I've seen in a while, to be honest.
Yes, it's a lot different to the Exy and Control we just saw, right? And check out Nexus. Back to textbook escalation for both these teams. Dragon's pinched. He needs to pinch. KRIMCEZ quicker though. Cougars has it. Oh, he's not been able to reach in time, has he? Can't kill fast enough. Now Bounces and Pains link up for the rotation. Hydron, so much pressure on his shoulders on this 1v. Good shot on the Crimsons. He has the leg up though. Hydron is going to get angled out to the left. Can't shut him down. Triple cap will start. And Dragons somehow has to get into that hill. Not going to be able to. Massive again. Cruise on through with another round win. And right now, they are looking unstoppable, Chris. They have this on lock.
Yep. Solid from them. I said it was a slower round, but ultimately control the majority. Retro is going to come in either side. Oh, are we going to do something funny here, Jonny Walker? Yeah, we are. There we go. Yeah, you don't see it too often. Yeah, you don't see it too often.
Yeah, but I think this happened with Jonny Walker. I think they placed this drop shot down at B around the same point, but it was surprising because Massive just did a far better job at dealing with it. This looks better though from Jonny Walker. A little bit more aggressive, a little bit more sophisticated is this strat. Everyone is on the same page. Drop shot has been picked up. Revive chained as well up. And now KRIMCEZ is ready to fire. Locked and loaded. We'll get 2. And now perhaps the push over to the triple cap can ensue. KRIMCEZ trying to get the angle out from the right. Still 1 drop shot to play with, remember. They could simply just go for the next push if they do choose to do so. Active on the cards now for KRIMCEZ. That bait is not going to work. KRIMCEZ will get taken down right on the edge of that area of effect for that active drop shot. KRIMCEZ now looking for the 1v straight in front of the enemy spawn. Looking for that break. Doesn't get it, but he does find that 1v on Crimson's. That was gorgeous. Dragons will come in through and help out his teammate. 3 seconds on the clock. KRIMCEZ will not be able to reach. His teammates, though, are reaching at B. Hydron shotgunning. Oh my goodness me. Bounce is trapped in a corner. Both players knifing each other, but Hydron the victor. Massive will live to tell another tale for now.
Great start by Jonny Walker and Coke, though, has to be said. They're in a really nice spot. 40-second win condition. That's, well, maybe going to change hands in a second, though, as Massive seem to be getting the work done over towards C. It's going to be a push over towards A. They need to get something locked in pretty sharpish here. 30 seconds or so. They can't make the push. Good setup by Jonny Walker and Coke at the moment.
Yeah, nice lances from Slaps. And Hydron to his right, but the push will start. Hydron upping or finding the kill on the upping opponent. And this looks pretty much locked in. Look at the score difference, it's massive. And there's no drop shot in sight for Massive to try and get themselves back into this one. 3 seconds, lovely movement from KRIMCEZ. Bit of footwork, but it will not lead to any major results. They've stopped the bleeding, have Jonny Walker. Now, they just need to keep this up.
Yeah, if we want to see that map number 5, they need to do this consistently. Works out that time for them. Can they find another 4 rounds, though?
Yeah, I'd love to see the gridlock. Chris, after we saw Checkout play the way it did? Wow. Boom shot down on the other side of the map. Don't see this often, do you?
You don't
Double drop and boom on the map. 1 shot in the boom, mind you, and 2 in the drop.
So you'd favour the drop, right?
Yeah, it depends on the strategy, I guess. You want to split and try and, you know, ensure you win 1, or do you want to go all in on one side and push on through as a team? That's the question. And right now, both teams really going 3 and 1. 3 onto the drop. KRIMCEZ defending on one side. Will get the kill and level out the numbers. Drop shot fired. It will connect onto Hydron. That is absolutely phenomenal from Bounces. Incredible stuff. Setting himself apart. And his team from Jonny Walker. Oh my god. Lovely shot. Not going to connect though. Slaps weak. Dragons to try and help out. Bounces doesn't care. Will up A through. And find Dragons.
He got another as well.
The man is on fire.
Ridiculous from him, and I think the thing is, when you get a hold of that drop shot, allows you a little bit more presence over towards that boom as well, and it really can just snowball out of control. Hydron dead. KRIMCEZ immediately deals with that. Dragon's now fighting for his home hill. They do have a hold of B though. They win the fight over there. Bounces though, trying to continue the streak, but what a few kills that was from him. Nonetheless though, having a look at how things are played out after Massive do get a hold of both big power weapons on the map. What have they got to show for it? Not a great deal, in all honesty.
No, you're right. You are right. KRIM did get the kills. The kill with the boom shot. Bounces did get the necessary kill with the drop shot initially to win their fight, but here we go. KRIMCEZ's rotating back. Still with that, used that boom shot on his back. KRIMCEZ just cleaning up that kill. And players are starting to fall, unfortunately, for Jonny Walker. That's 4 down momentarily. Dragon's just coming off respawn. Triple cap blinking for the time being, but bounces very quickly, showing the utmost respect for Dragons in front. Look at this for a pinch, though. Straight in front of the spawn. Everyone is going to be let up trying to fight. Jonny Walker are outnumbered, though, especially when Pains gets a double like that. Hydra not able to reach in time, and Massive fire back with a round of their own.
Very, very well played, considering the position they were in. They got a lot at the beginning, didn't make much of it, but then you go and see that push come through. Half time, though, so things will start to change around. Bulltalk being built up towards tickets, but Retro will be obviously becoming an incent in the next round, maybe giving Jonny Walker and Cook a little bit more utility to work with. And let's see which way do these fights go. Once again, I said you'd probably imagine the majority going over towards the drop shot. There's going to be first ones there. Jonny Walker and Coke. Works out in their favor in that scenario. Are they going to be able to get a hold of it here? Yes, they will. Boom on the other side of things. Hydra going to deal with one, and that's definitely done damage to bounces. Yep. He's going to fall. And Cougar's going to transition this over towards E. So nicely done by Jonny Walker and Cook. Well played. Still one drop shot left in the chamber. Boom was already used as well. As far as I'm aware, actually, I'm not 100% sure.
That's the question, isn't it? Boom in the hands of KRIMCEZ, who is alive just in front of us. Yep, boom shot out. There it is. It'll come on through, and it'll stop slaps from decap in that one. From safety. Drop shot not able to connect. Don't think he had an active. That's why the kill's not coming through. It's like a different weapon is the drop shot when you have an active. Got to make sure you have it when you fire it.
Yep. Cougar's now in a difficult little spot, as are the rest of his team as well. Which way is it going to go? Cougar's trying his best to survive. Sorry, it's not A, it's D. Everything going on over towards A, I should say. As that fight over towards D does go over towards Massive, though. Win condition is with them. We're quite some distance away from it, though.
That we are. The rotation is clear for Jonny Walker. Back over to E they go. Hydran's going to be the one to break the hill, but they will get down in the process. Quickly cleaned up. Pains comes out of nowhere to find him. Slaps is going to get dropped. Cougar's in trouble, but does up a KRIMCEZ. The roll is not going to help him, though. Guaranteed death in front of a player like Pains. And the rotation's already started as well. They're already rotating over to the E-Hill. Dragon's trying to stay alive. Or rather, I should say, over towards the F-Hill.
Yeah, he's done well, though. They can push through here. They got numbers over towards F, so... Oh, just so much pressure in from Massive, though. They just seem to know where to put their numbers. There's a fight going on over towards E as well, but if you're Jonny Walker and Cook, you really need to win this one. You do so. You extend it over towards D, and there's a big fight going on over towards E as well. Drop shot for your troubles. If Cougars can get out, then you kind of take that. Both them pushing. One down going to come through. Is he going to be able to do much about this? Not quite. Drop shot coming in from downtown by the sounds of things, though. Is it going to do anything? Ooh. Dragons runs in, just kills himself, but will take KRIMCEZ as well. Jonny Walker and Cook with D with F. And I believe still with a drop shot available potentially. Definitely seeing one. Not 100% sure on the second.
About to find out.
Yeah, you are.
Don't think there's any left.
Oh, no, there isn't, as it definitely would have been used by now. This hill needs to go the way of Jonny Walker and Cook. It's going to as well. Is that going to be enough, though? Oh, the swarming condition's still there. Oh, they need to get a hold of something else. They're not going to be able to, in Massive, get the round. 5 points in it at the end. That's 4-1. Series and tournament point.
That was heartbreaking for Jonny Walker. Wow. How close was that? That could have been 3-2 right there, but sadly, Massive clutch up once more. So close. Now, where do you go from here, right? Boom shot and drop shot have been swapped over a number of times. Well, at least the drop shot control has. Each time KRIM has been able to get a hold of the boom, giving his team a leg up on that end of the map. So many variables to consider. It's going to continue to be a 1v1 over at the E-Hill. This time bounces. Oh, look at this, though. Cougars is flanking around. They've changed the strat. They've lost the drop, but they need to get something out of this. They've got the angle on Crimsons. There it is. It'll come on through. Slaps with the boom shot. Dragons will fall as well in the process. E-Hill capped up by Jonny Walker and Coke, but D-Hill quickly going back the other way.
Yeah, get F as well here, but it looks things, or at least decap it. Slaps. Oh, he sent that deep, and he has dealt with bounces. Pains may well be weak off that one as well. Not too low anymore. Will be allowed to regen his health. Slaps pushing in, but I think he's going to wait for the rest of his team coming in behind him. Slightly for Jonny Walker and Coke, and Pains will fall. The drop shot doesn't really find a great deal apart from your own teammate, although Pains was already dead. So, drop shot used, boom shot used, and we ultimately have Jonny Walker and Coke in the lead, and, well, momentarily with control. Domination ticking up, but he is covered. Hydro did well there to make the aggressive push. He's going to back on down. The topsy-turvy round so far.
Certainly has been. Dragons looking to find the push on Pains. They're making it so hard on Massive, though. Pushing this FL, rolling back to keep their distance. The shots just keep on coming. The damage keeps piling up. And with so many resources sent that way, 4 players down and only 1 hill remaining, and KRIMCEZ is already rotating there. That'll be it.
And that is that. Massive once again. 5-1. They get it done 3-1 in the series. They are very much the best team in Europe right now. The control was close. The execution was fantastic from Jonny Walker and Coke, but when it comes to escalation, Massive are just too good. And get it done. Another win here in Europe, and they are the team to beat with only a few weeks more to go. Toby, once again, a very, very good performance. I'll get myself out of the dark, but I mean, how can you beat them when that escalation is so good? You then have to bank on execution and control going your way, and they just seem very solid at that as well. Teams need to step up their escalation game.
They do, and it's unfortunate the way the TG went. Of course, I said it before, I'll say it again. Last time it actually went the way of the opposition, right? It went the way of Jonny Walker. But you know, it kind of went the different way this time as well, didn't it? The execution swapped. Instead of KRIMCEZ winning that one, it was actually Cougars winning that one with Snipe Clip and his whole team. So you've got to tin up on top form to be able to beat this massive squad. And Vazgar is definitely a sticking point. I think they need to try and ban that out as soon as they can, if they can in future. Jonny Walker.
Yeah, potentially. Let's have a look at the bracket to see how things did break down this weekend, though. Thank you to all the teams who did get involved. Thank you to everybody who hung out in the stream as well. But obviously, we came in at the quarterfinals. We seen Massive going up against Pizza for Fun, or at least closing that series out, walking through against Tweak, who put up a good fight in that semi-final that we got to see as well. On the other side of things, though, Jonny Walker and Coke dealt with Phantom T in their semi-final. Tweak, as mentioned as well, got rid of Fossils and the Frenchman, so that is a very good win for them. But Tweak very much looked like a solid roster, aren't able to make the grand final, which was against Massive and Jonny Walker and Coke, which was entertaining to say at the least. But once again, Massive, formerly X's, get it done here in the Open Series, week number 5. Only a few more to go, and I honestly do not see them being stopped before the finals. What a performance from them. And it's just so hard, isn't it? I think if you're not locking down at least one of those escalation games, you're going to struggle against them.
Yeah, it's safe to say. I think execution and control are both areas that teams can work on, right? And we've seen clearly that both modes are starting to advance a little bit, right? On execution, we saw some more thought out strategies on checkouts, smoke strats on the incense, quick picks on the snipes. Everything was changing up a little bit on that map and developing. Control, players started getting timed out. We haven't seen that before actually on stream, I don't think, at least to that frequency. So players are starting to employ that age-old strategy that dates back to Gears 3, Koth, right? And competitive there. I think we'll see more of that, and players start to understand, short spawns and long spawns and where players might spawn and how to play these different maps. And so over time, we'll get a picture as to, whether Massive stay on the throne, generally speaking, on control, whether they can up their execution game a little bit so they don't drop these odd maps to both Phantom T and their closest rivals, perhaps you'd argue, in Johnny Walker.
Mm-hmm.
Will anyone catch up to them on escalation though? That's the big one, right? Where they seem to be extra dominant on currently. It's still in the best of 3. You know, it's one map out of the 3. You still need to practice escalation, but if you're gonna take an advantage somewhere, execution and control might be the route to do it.
Potentially. Thank you once again, Toby, for joining me for another Sunday evening, of course. Always a pleasure. Thank you to everybody who did, as said, hang out in the chat. Very active in there this evening. Nice to see a few round and getting excited by some good players. Hopefully we get to see more of you join us again next week. There is only a few more weeks to go, and we're excited to see how things advance before the finals. But once again, Formally Access, now called Massive, they looked so good and are going to be very difficult to beat. Let's see if anyone can do it within the next few weeks. We'll see you for next Sunday. Catch you then.